put a clay collection zone right here. Nope, wrong type of clay. I'm pretty sure there's a clay layer on this map, is there not? Maybe it's on the other side of the map. There it is. There it be. So basically I have to go all the way over there. It means blind is just trying to change the subject, is what it actually means, Lord Emperor Posh King Marza. Like, there's points with, like, just about everything in life where if somebody just wants to change a subject because they're like, I don't really want to bring this back up. Like, this is old, treaded territory. Like, if you want to go look it up on Know Your Meme, live your life, I suppose, without having to just, like, then elaborate and explain based on, like, every other thing that's even tangentially related. Like, can we just move on? That's all I'm really asking. I think that's a fair request. And also, no, 2016 isn't ancient. If anything, it's recent history. But it's not new, is what I'm trying to explain. What's your favorite dwarven beer? Cranberry wine. I don't know, that was just the first one that came to mind. How the hell can I get there easily? I don't really want to take the stairs down. I mean, in meme terms, 45 minutes ago is ancient. Gonna use these pillars. That's how we're gonna get down there. So I need to get to this clay. Which is right there. And I think I'll just pull the clay out of the walls. Because clay is like sand. And also, it's probably actually cave wheat, because I'm not much of a wine drinker. Man, I forgot how ugly obsidian forges look. And just like, it's like just black. It's just a void. Looks like something from a comic book. Kind of looks like something out of Thor. Burr? Ah, is that your favorite crypt burr? I think I missed my redeem. I definitely did. What did you redeem? Ah, happiest dwarf I have. Sure. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place today. I was all over the place yesterday. I'm not as bad today. But I'm still kind of all over the place today. I'm pooped. It's been a long week. Vanta Black Forges, very much so. Speaking of old jokes. Oh, yeah. Although the better color than Vanta Black is the other copyrighted color that I'm aware of that you can get in trouble for using, which is Minion Yellow. He takes no pleasure in his talents and appearance. He is confident under pressure and he dislikes obligations. He will try to avoid being bound by them, and he values the concept of loyalty. He is troubled by this, by his natural tendencies, and he by his natural tendencies, and he has a very calm demeanor. He is very curious and sometimes to his detriment. He is very slow to anger, and he has little time for forgiveness. He will generally seek retribution, and he is often cheerful. He enjoys the company of others, and he is very humble. He is quite comfortable with others that have a different appearance or culture, and he doesn't seek out excitement. He tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects, and he doesn't mind wearing something special now and again. He tries to do things correctly each time, and he has a greedy streak. Generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity and isn't given to flights of fancy. And he tends to be a bit stubborn in changing his mind about things. He dreams of mastering a skill and personally views any show of emotion as offensive and doesn't feel strongly about the law. He likes chert and trifle pewter and yellow jasper and sloth bear bone, corns and crowns and soft wheat for their beer, and the sound of the silky embrace and the sight of the sienna sweetness, and when possible prefers to consume guppy and carambola wine and purple amaranth seeds, and absolutely hates fire snakes. He has a long beard which is neatly combed, and he worships Einod. And he has no friends but many passing acquaintances. Welcome to the fortress. So here I can catch live land animal. So let's see who's going to try doing that. Let's see what we get. Asked the trapper's up to it. This is a adequate hammer dwarf. Are you in my military? Yeah, you are. You're in the ivory priest. Well, that's kind of awkward. Could not find path. I mean, I'm just kind of confused as to whether or not canceling the job. That's the weird part to me. I was hoping for cave spiders. This is what I'm hoping for. King Marza. Stuck in a literal pathfinding loop? Yep. Yep. Well, the thing is, they're probably going for cave spiders that they can't actually get to. If I had to bet. I wonder. He's finding excitement at least. I mean, hey, if he is, then that's good. I think they need to complete the jobs to actually get the positive thoughts out of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to put like a guinea, because I think I have geese and some other things. So I'm going to put some livestock up here, maybe pigs, stuff that makes bugs and things appear, and see what we can get from that. If there's any like improvement here, because I've wanted to move some of the livestock up here anyway. On this, I can just pause. Yep, no, I know that feeling. Forgetting what you're doing, and then you do it again. Not animal training. Let's go. Right here or so. We're just going to put all the ducks and things right here. Goose, you. Hen, goose, you, and the stray keet. I think that's all the birds. Oh, there's a duck. Could also put the piggy up here. Once they're all in there, I'm going to cover about half of this with floor, because I think the floor needs to be bare for them to find random animals. And I'm going to go here and say rock nest box. Nice petting zoo? I mean, sure. I don't think they need to be in a zoo for the dwarves to pet them. They just pet them constantly all the time. Also, this is Elfie Bean's pet. I don't think they need to be on dirt for this to work, but hey. Saw Ermaluk tell the story of the ascension of the dwarf necromancer Unib to the position of King of the Iron of Power in 52. Unib... What was your last name? Unib Spraytombs? Who's our king currently? Nope, not currently the king. Wonder what happened to Unib Spraytombs. Fascinating. It needs to be as interesting as the Hell Fort. The thing is, I'm not. This is something that I feel like I've had to repeat a couple times recently, but I have zero intention to do that with every single fort, because otherwise, the same thing that happened with the Today in Dwarf Fortress series will happen. I don't actually need to send all of those. Which is I will rapidly be incapable of creating interesting news stories. So that type of video treatment is probably going to be left to, like, I don't like this word, so I'm gonna stutter. Challenge forts? I bloody hate referring to things as challenges, but things with very heavy themes or interesting locations. But, because, like, the reality is, this is probably going to be a pretty long fort. Unless I retire it quickly. But this is probably going to be a relatively long fort. And so if this ends up being a relatively long fort, like, it took me 30 hours-ish to make that video. And that was with, you know, not that much footage. That was only 50 hours of footage. Like, Fire Orb, for reference, was like 150. Yeah, it's great that it was a nice video, but I need these to be sustainable and not make me go insane. And if they do, it's going to be a neat idea that's not going to stick around super long. Because I will go crazy. Are these not clay? Oh, that's Pete, duh. I was confused clay and Pete. God damn it, who even is Pete? I've never even met a Pete. Because there's also fire clay, which looks very similar to Pete. I mean, this fort is themed, right? It's themed around raising elephants for the purpose of war to become a mountain home. I don't know how I could make that into a competent video. Thank you for not being a member in my chat that I like to see, Fraga. That is the opposite of what's pleasant to hear from people who watch my streams. I don't really care if you're joking or not. It's just, sorry, but that sucks. Sorry, elephants? Yes, we have baby elephants in the basement. Wait and see what happens? Totally. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not guaranteeing anything, right? The question was, is this getting the same treatment? Probably not. It might. I don't know. I can't give you a direct answer. Genuinely, I can't. If I could, I would. But I can't, because I don't know. Let's hack this son of a gob to death, shall we? Baby elephants take 10 years to get to adulthood. It's Kumil and Neezer, terrified while in conflict, bashing the goblin thief in the upper arm with a silver warhammer. Oh, hey, it's the exact same one that attacked previously. Well, same child thief twice. Leopard hair bracelet. Fascinating. It's like, I realize that you're being sarcastic, Fraga, but you need to understand that I'm human too, right? And would you like reading that about yourself? Like, that sucks. The dwarves have arrived to trade. It's like, if you're joking, that's cool. But in order to tell jokes, you gotta be funny. I don't find that funny. Ermaluk met with the outpost liaison Aerith. Do I know Aerith? Do you have any relations to any of my previous dwarves? I wonder. Right, yeah, you're the cousin of the grandpa. And sentient and elfie and prismatic. Got it. Like, you're fine, Freyga, and I do like you. But what you need to remember is that people have feelings, right? And I'm too honest about mine. I should be less honest. But I'm not. You're blue, so you're a crafts dwarf. There's much to share. They've given us rumors. I think I'm just going to request coal. Not even coal. I'm just going to request, like, marble. So I can make some steel. They want seeds next year. Well, that's easy. Anyway, chat, can I get a round of beers? Otherwise, I'm going to keep dwelling on this. At the end of the day, the only difference between a heavily themed fort and a challenge fort is one is like designed for children on YouTube and the other one is the reality. You can decide which. I mean, not this fort, but there's a volcano where it rains blood on this map. Which was one of the other options that I gave you guys to vote on when I selected a place to move next. And we could go there and do an only ramps fort, which is the only form of digging I'm allowed to use as ramps. That could be something that could be interesting. But it highly depends on how long I stay in this fort and if anything interesting happens. Oh shit! They brought an elephant this time. Speaking of elephants. Because I would like to make war elephants in this fort. That is kind of my sideways goal for this fort. Is war elephants. But I do have 2 elephants that are babies that I'm raising. That in my headcanon are like the king's like elephants or something. For some reason I thought I was making crafts. I made silver rings. Why can't I sell those? Oh, it's because it was only giving me earrings. That makes sense. The interesting stories are the side stories outside the main goals. Yeah. I mean, something that we were talking about that might be interesting would be like the day in the life of a dwarf, which is just I build up a really big fortress and then spend like 2 whole streams just following one dwarf. But I don't know if that would necessarily be interesting to watch. Have I named them? Well, you can't nickname animals until they've been given a name. So no, I haven't, but I gave them the title of Royal next to their names. So they're elephant. They're a royal elephant, basically. Oh man, they didn't bring elephants for sale. Tisk. I guess I would have had to request that. Yeah, it's the best I could do with what I have right now. That is an expensive crutch. Holy shit. And I'll buy those gold bars. So I did request that they bring them. Although I don't think I'll have enough value for all of them. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Why are meals so broken? Because of the way the pricing system for items and values work. It's because it's the item that they're the item that requires the most construction goods. Here we go again, I suppose. It's weird that it doesn't just cancel the job. Burrows, probably? Heartstoppers? Because they go for whatever's closest, but they consider vertical and horizontal same distance. So if something's 20 layers down, it's just as close as something that's 20 blocks away. What else can I do here? Let's catch small animal and tame small animal. I wonder, actually. If I put a pig over here on dirt, would that fix that? And also I need to go here and then go clay. There we go. So now I can say collect clay 20 and clay pot 10. Let's say 15. And we'll do that monthly. Maybe seasonally. But yeah, I don't really know what I would do with this fort, because I'll be honest with you. I started up this fort when that fort ended because I just needed to not think. Which is quite literally why I started the next fort. Or why I started this fort, was because I was like, that last fort was exhausting and a lot, and I need something simple, basically. I need something new now, and I need to get away from that soon. So I did that, right? And the last fort, I was very focused the entire time on trying to do it in a format that would work well in a recorded video. This one I haven't been. Like, I haven't been following characters as much. I've, like, been taking it a little bit more easy on me. I'm not going to say 100% no that there won't be a video about this fort, because there might be. But I need something interesting to happen. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing that it'll go nowhere. It's just, it's not super strongly themed like the last one was. I'll see you later, Corey Damas. But, you know, if there is heavy demand for another themed filmed fort, the easiest way for me to do that right now is to retire this one and go start a new one. But I think my plan for this fort in particular is I will play it for another 2-3 streams, and then start thinking about the next major story for it. If something comes out of this fort, it'll be probably a short video. Does that make sense? Like, my next project that I'm planning to start is that Elven Adventurer. The VOD's up on the VOD's channel. You can go see it, but there's an Elven Adventurer that I did where I was just a bard, and we just walked around being a bad bard for a little bit, and it was kind of fun. And we got into some hijinks, and I beat the crap out of I threw an artifact at somebody. And I think that could be a fun little short story crammed down into like 15 minutes, you know? And that's only 5 hours of footage. So I want to do something small before the next big project, but the next video that I'm doing next is going to be Future of the Fortress, probably. I don't know when Tarn's going to post it, but how's the Holy Whip? Probably doesn't have many holes in it, actually. Mostly just nostrils and other things important. Holy Whip is quite happy, storing item in a bin currently. Specifically a sock, looks like. Oh, for a second there, I thought you were part of two religions. Like, what? You know, you're doing your thing. You're focused. You do want some martial training, but you're focused, so that's good. You've satisfied enough of your needs that you are in good spirits. You just picked up a bilberry roast, which you're gonna go nom 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 to death, and you still have a pet dog and a pet guinea hen, and that's you. I mean, go watch the VOD if you want to witness it, Frog, or wait until the video. I mean, here, I'll tell you. It's that whole thing ended with me stealing an artifact after killing I think it was a giant. It might have been a cyclops. I'm pretty sure it was a giant. And then got a artifact that was super cool, and I tried to gift it to the royalty of my elven faction, and then they said no because that was offensive because it was made out of body parts, and so I threw it at them. Yeah, you know, it would just be a short story. That's about it. But yeah, if every single project I do takes me 30 plus hours to edit, it's going to be really difficult for me to get the ambition to do that frequently, if that makes any sense. I need to take breaks. So currently, this fort is a break for me. Okay, so we are collecting clay. Of course, it's kind of sadder dwarves that are collecting clay. Dodak, the weaponsmith, withdraws from society. Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. You guys want to see something kind of cool related to the last video? Remember how I said, in order for a video to do well, it has to get views, go down, and then come back up. I'm about to jinx it, and this is probably a big mistake. But at least last hour, yeah, it's already gone down again. Last hour, it went up slightly. Between 2 and 3 p.m., it's already dropped back down. But, you know, that's what it needs to start doing, right? If it starts doing that, that's good. And also, it's about to hit 10,000 views, which is also very good. So, you know, it's all a process now. It highly depends on the performance of that video, how ambitious the next project's going to be. Because if that kind of video ends up being the only kind of video that I make, I talked about this yesterday, I think, so I might as well mention it again. The cadence that this stream would take is pretty simple. I would stream for, I don't know, 2 weeks, 4 or 5 days a week, get a bunch of footage, and then take a week off of streaming. Like, I would have to take it. If that is the kind of video that I'm making purely, I have to take a week off of streaming here and there, because that is not sustainable for me to do just as a regular upload schedule. Like, you need to realize that the amount of hours I put into that, streams would get less consistent. So if you're here and you primarily enjoy the streams, realize what you're asking for here. That's all I gotta say. Just realize what you're asking for here. Let's say choose which stockpile will give items. Yes, from here. Same with you. From here. And this can have 2 wheelbarrows in it. Thank you, Dominok. I mean, like, I'm sure it'll be successful, right? But there's a lot of... I guess what I need to do right now is I need to quell expectations a little bit, and I need you guys to realize this. I need a stable work-life balance. That's the first thing. And I put up a video... When was that? On the... I'm just looking for the date. On the 4th of July. I'm taking a huge risk making this video. Lots of things are going to change, right? 2 days later, I put out the Future of the Fortress video. Or no, like 5 days later almost, I put out the Future of the Fortress video, right? Then 1 day later, I put out a very low effort This Embark is Insane video. So that was July 10th. July 31st was when that video came out. So between July 10th and July 31st is how long it took me to put out that video. That was at an unsustainable rate. That was too fast. In between there, I put out that Norland video. The next video is going to be a much smaller scale thing. After that, we can start thinking about the next thing. That's going to be the cadence now, is I need to try and make this video as successful as possible so that more people look forward to the next video. Right now, people expect me to be the guy that just churns out highlights, right? And I don't mind being the guy that just churns out highlights. Like, that's been me for a very long time. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't like it, right? But because people expect a certain type of thing from me, they're not looking for this. I need to set precedents now, right? I'm setting a new precedent and basically rebuilding the channel to a degree. Like, the only real old content I'm keeping are tutorials when they're relevant, which isn't super frequent, and news, and Future of the Fortress. Those are the things that I'm keeping. And everything going forward is just, I need to teach my audience to expect a certain cadence and a certain type of content now. And right now they're expecting a cadence that's just unsustainable. So I get why everybody's sitting here and very excited about the next project. But I'm sitting here and thinking, how can I make the next project at a sustainable speed? So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to go refill my water bottle because it's getting kind of stale. And we're in an ad break anyway. Well, not for the audience to change necessarily, just more get used to the new thing. That's all. And Stormwolf, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. What's up, man? Anyway, right now the reality is I haven't built this entire fortress with the plan to make it into a video like that. It might happen, but that's not the plan currently. And Dwarf is still trying to catch a live animal. Strange. It feels like those should, like, cancel the job. Oh, sweet. We had another mission return. Several, actually. So Swamp Quake's here. So this was a abandoned pit that we went through, I think. Oh, well, we found nothing there. That's unfortunate. We went north, I think. Yep. Like, something else I should probably do, which I already know what I will call it at some point. There's two things I should probably do. The first thing is I need to make, like, a Google form where you guys can just submit ideas. That's the first thing I need to do. And I should just sit down and do it. I should have done it last week, but I didn't. Looks like a bunch more books. Charity in Outrage Warded. Interpretations of Clutch Rapid. Bunch of books. But the first thing I need to do is that. Just like, so whenever people are just like, hey, is this going to be a thing? Like, I'll just give you that and be like, make a suggestion. Is actually what I should do. The second thing that I should probably do is just, like, make a pocket world and do a world domination attempt. Just take over a pocket world. Kill everything. Literally everything. Well, the thing is, viewer-submitted ideas need to be two things. Ignored 90% of the time, and used to judge interest in certain topics. If you submit an idea, there is a 0% or maybe a 0.1% chance that your idea will actually get utilized, and that needs to be very clear. Right? Like, that's the reality. But I'm open to your ideas right now. It's just a matter of you communicating them and telling me your ideas. You are 100% allowed to give me ideas right now. But that doesn't mean I will listen or remember. All right, we are now making earthenware pots. We couldn't clay in theory we could glaze them, but we need some glaze. You see, the idea of viewer submitted ideas is you guys don't get to see them, Jesse. The idea about the way to make viewer submitted ideas an even remotely good idea is you guys get a forum, you submit it to the forum, and it goes off into the void. And then I can just look at the most popular ideas and sort, right? That's the way you do it. If you let people see it, then they'll start being like, so when are you going to do this thing? Well, never. I never promised I would. I never told... How do you know? I haven't seen that in the submissions. I have to have the complete and total ability to be like, nah, no. I will tell you this, but Jupiter Hell has been very cheap and probably will be cheap soon in the future, Anander. In YouTube chat. But, I don't know. We're at this point right now where I'm just making excuses, and this is a bad brain loop. So, what I think we need to do right now, chat, is either start a useful conversation, or start talking about how we can make this fort... Like, if you... Here's the thing. If you guys want this fort, the one that we're currently playing, to be a video, what kind of video would you like to see out of this fort? And now, no, that doesn't mean big lofty goal. That's not what that means. What that means is, what should we do right now to make this interesting for a video? Because the way I've been thinking about this for a bit is, I'm the cameraman. Chat's kind of the director. If chat's the director, this is better for literally everybody. Okay, so I'm going to cut a gem. Because I'm pretty sure I've got a bunch of... nope. Probably not, actually. Okay, well then let's polish a stone. Whoopsies, that's not what I wanted. And butcher an animal. Okay, well, see, here's the thing. Remember what I literally just said? I said I don't want a big, lofty goal. What dwarf do you guys want to follow? You see, this is what I'm talking about, Dominog. If you guys want the fort to be interesting in a video sense, I can try and manipulate it into that if I'm driving. Which I was in the last fort. But this fort, I'm just fucking playing casually. But if you guys want to see a goal come out of it, this has to be an interactive thing. Because, believe it or not, I'm really bad at this. Like, genuinely, I fucking suck at this. Like, I'm glad that you guys liked that video. I'm bad at this. And that is the most honest I can be about this. Is I am bad at this. I am bad at challenge runs. I'm bad at coming up with ideas for shit. I'm bad at filming up clearly because of how rough the editing was in spots in that last video. Like, I'm not great at this. Like, you guys are giving me a lot of credit, and I thank you for that, but you know. So pick a dwarf. Give me a location. What do you guys want to see? Although I will say we should continue attacking things, because that is my actual plan. Raid Menace Flooded. We're going to send 2 of the squads to go raid a goblin-run location that was originally elvish. Like cops, but we tracked down... Sure. Size. Frogfire, you completely missed the point. It's okay, though. The videos are made interesting by the small things. So, at the end of the day, I'm here for conversations and talking. Why are you talking in third person, Frog? Chat, let's get a round of beers and reset this whole conversation. Please and thank you. Okay, now that we've done that, what dwarf would you guys like to follow? Should we follow a named dwarf? Is there a particular job you'd like to follow? Elephants don't need surface grass. They can, like, eat moss as well. Is there a particular job? We got one request for Ranger Rick, who's the Holy Whip. Religious figure? See, this is why this doesn't work. Man, you seem biased, Snail. I mean, so this was why I created the exclamation point characters command originally. Was to try and give you guys a dwarf to follow. But that didn't work at all and hasn't worked. I mean, I've tried. I sort of, maybe I should try harder, but I don't really know how to try harder at this point. Really. Was that we would collaboratively name dwarves, and it sort of worked in the last fort because of how small scale it was. I'm going to pause and build these walls. It worked in the last fort because of how small scale it was, but in this fort, it's already been very difficult. Oops. Yeah, okay. We'll use nice. But it's already proving difficult in this fort because of how big it is. Oh, that's flooring. Yeah, I guess that's on me. Salva. Where did you run off to? There you are. I mean, I was low-key planning on building another one of those for this fort. I never shot hot coins at things. Probably... Okay, I thought he was going to conduct a meeting there. I never shot hot coins at things. I just... would fill it up with lava. We also shot coins. I mean, that was... Creature Keepers was the coins... I can't remember what fort was the last one with just a fully automatic minecart cannon. Where'd you get that hood from, Dwarf? Those are illegal. We wear caps here. Please. Okay, so obviously this dwarf wants me to work on their temple, so let's work on that. Because I do actually have the day sight now to do it. Did I screw this up? I think I did. I think I just need to dig it back one further. Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, obviously he would be petitioning for a Grand Temple. He does feel admiration after remembering watching a performance. Also looks like a lot of the clothing is done. Dwarves are off still attacking a goblin location. Although I need to check something. Okay, what else do you need? Cut gems, skeletons, shining bars of metal, rough gems. Okay. I need to find more gems, chat. Because I've got this dwarf who desperately wants their gems. Needs gems, even. There is so much ore on the surface of this fort. It's almost funny. But so few gems. Okay, how about this? I really don't like digging that way, but let's get a surplus of microcline while we're at it. He's on a quest from God. You mean he's on a mission from God? Is that what you're suggesting? All right. Let's go back to up here. If that dwarf dies, I will be sad. I haven't had anybody fail an artifact yet in this fort. That should have been dug out there. Day site, day site, day site. There we go. And do I have an altar I could place? No. Okay, so let's make a silver altar. Well, actually, do you have a particular metal you like here, dwarf? Color copper. I do have copper. You like sterling silver. I can't make sterling silver or native platinum because I don't have that either, but I can make copper. That's about as close as I can get, Dominoc. I do have silver, too. I mean, what's the name of the god? It is Kulsim. Kulsim. I'll make silver statue. And let's make 8 of them. Kulsim. The Superior. The god of sacrifice, victory, war, and fortresses. Yeah. In fact, he's helping now, it looks like. I know that that's a reference to something. What are you referencing, Mr. Hezekiah? I'll need to take note of when the soldiers return, too. Do I have silver ore? We have tons of galena. But I don't have the, what's it called? I don't have any of the alloys to make sterling silver. At least I don't think. Because all I have is hematite, magnetite, and galena. Old-timey movie actor. Yeah, but I thought it was just... I might just be thinking of, like, stereotypical mob boss. A migrant has arrived. Clenched winds. Worships the god of death and fun. He's a good dancer. Welcome to the fort. He is in fact helping build his own temple. Maybe I should make him an office back here. Even though, like, most of these dwarves don't even have bedrooms. Day site. And day site. And then the way I was going to design this is just by digging down around the edges. Store an item in vehicle. I wonder which one. Which vehicle he's heading to. Learned about weaponsmithing once. Kind of scared. Because, you know, a lot of named dwarves have gone off to go fight that thing. See how they do when they get back. Spatial sense is, like, military related, though. Now, what are the odds a rock hits somebody? Relatively low. Relatively low. Do you have a bedroom? Doesn't have a bedroom. Maybe I should make him a bedroom. What is good? What is war good for? Most nothing. I need rough gems. And I don't see any. There were some gems down here in the quartzite. So I'll get them to dig around in here a little bit too, but really hope they find some gems. Glass half empty. And take that new migrant. What was his name? Can't remember what his name was. I don't even remember what his job was. I just jumped to him. I mean, he's already no longer a new migrant. Did anybody catch the name of that migrant? Because I certainly didn't. Ficod? If Ficod remember. Oh, there you are. Cook. That looks like him. Just got here. Thank you. You're over-reliant on advice and a loner and quick to despair. He finds a chaotic mess preferable to the boredom of harmonious living. He relies on the advice of others during decision-making, and he tends to assume that the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass. He tends to avoid crowds and generally is quite confident in his abilities when undertaking specific ventures, and he doesn't mind wearing something special now and again. He can handle stress, and he tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects. And he is assertive. He needs alcohol to get through the working day and likes working outdoors, but only grumbles mildly at bad weather. He dreams of crafting a masterwork someday and personally respects power and doesn't care about art one way or another. Dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. Likes Billen rose quartz and the color Carillion. Amulets and ballista parts and turkeys for their gobble. And the site of the Silver of Harvesters, and when possible prefers to consume spotted puffer and fisherberry wine and oat flour, and absolutely hates slugs. A skilled negotiator and counselor. Competent liar. This would actually be a decent captain of the guard. Yeet. He's competent, intimidating, and judge of intent. Like, yeah. Or like, noble. You're gonna make some loud noises and shit? What's up, hobo? How goes loud noises? You're looking at another window. There we go. I'm glad that him go fast heard it. Go down to here. I think this dwarf needs a bedroom. Although it is just socializing. You heard the good word of the great doctrine of fortresses. He's an accomplished mason. Another thing I could do is I could start whipping up actual better quality meals, but... Am I cooking my drinks, actually? I should jump to kitchen menu and check. Yep, they're all permitted to be cooked, so let's turn off all that. And let's say, go over to that kitchen. Do I not have a kitchen? I do. Oh, hey, we are making lavish meals. It's probably a good chunk of the problem there, actually. And I'm also going to go to labor, and I'm going to go back to the kitchen menu. Where's Talo? I thought that... Okay, cool. They are allowed to cook that stuff. Good. You got to level -100 and no luck with magma. But you have an entirely different question this time. Cool. I mean, you got to keep digging. It's usually within the bottom 20 to 30 layers is where you will find lava. I think I'm going to get Ranger Rick a bedroom is what I'm going to do. We're going to make a couple more bedrooms here. No. No, you shouldn't worry about it. Not at all. Now that you should worry about, the vampire that's on the loose. But I can't help you with that. That's up to you to find. I recommend using the justice system. Set up a captain of the guard. Keep an eye out for criminals. Interrogate those witnesses. Explore the system. It's a fun one. Okay. Valsalan. I am chronically depressed. I have days that are tolerable, and then just days. Today is a day. We're getting by. Basically, it's almost impossible for me to answer that question. It's, I guess, the easier way to put it. I'm doing okay today. Today is all right. I have no complaints. I mean, I can always find something to complain about, but I'm not going to, because there's nothing really necessary to complain about right now. We're all right. We're getting by. But that's about as good as I can say. You know, like, I think a lot of people watch Twitch streams and they expect the streamer to just be, like, fake happy all the time. It's like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. Must be arguing about his religion or something. Envious on that finding the perfect meds thing. At least you have friends. Who'd you chat with? One of these people, probably. I'm gonna go store another item in a bin. Where are you headed to there, Dwarf? Ah! Speaking of storing items, we must have found some gems, because suddenly we have a bunch of gems. We got cherry opals. So that is good. Dodok has begun their artifact in the Weaponsmith's Guild, and he is also a weaponsmith. Also has... this is why I've started using caps, is because legendary caps get feathers. Anyone can have a bad day? Sure. But I am in a position where I am entertaining people, so people expect me to be better. Well, I'm not, so... I'm also going to try... putting the animal catcher's shop down here, the vermin catcher's shop down here. Or a vermin catcher's shop down here. We'll see if that works better. Handmade soup. That's very impressive that you managed to boil water and make, like, broth in your hands. You try and move. Or wait, I think. And hope you're not dead. Got into an argument and became friends? I don't think so. I think you just got into an argument. And then made a friend with somebody else, probably. Since we're following Rick, let's see if I can get Ranger Rick to do this. Because there's spiders everywhere down here. You're headcanoning? That's okay. You know, I was a headcanon for a Halloween party once. I had a little plastic cannon that I glued to my head. Well, put on a strap and tied to my chin. Oh my Christ. Dodok the weaponsmith has created Inen Gutid, a silver warhammer, and claims it as a family heirloom. It finally happened, chat. Is it possible to clean blood off walls? It's making things in ASCII very morbid looking. Walls, I don't know. It has to be available. Some of them will take it from workshops, and some of them they have to be in stockpiles. If they're hauling an item, they have a chance to claim it. I mean, all of my artifacts have been weapons, pretty much, because all of my dwarves are weaponsmiths, pretty much. Yes. Anander, it will get destroyed by magma if it's not magma-safe materials. The weaponsmith has created Fubegubar Inen Gutid. That's quite the name. A silver warhammer, and claims it as a family heirloom. Oh, the bloody tusks and others have returned. The soldiers have returned. We can check in on them. This item, once again, was made by Dodok. It's a silver warhammer. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with round cherry opal cabochons and studded with silver. This object menaces with spikes of llama bone and cherry opal and reindeer bone. On the item is an image of a peach tree in cherry opal. On the item is an image of ship theaters, the large slick metal right gauntlet in rope reed. On the item is an image of a ginkgo tree in Rubicel. Good streak, Big Bang. Just remember to put your pants on when you're done streaking, yeah? So, the pissy dwarves have returned. I think... Okay, so where's Dodok? This dwarf. What god do you worship? This dwarf is in the Doctrine of Fortresses. Ranger Rick runs the Doctrine of Fortresses. You know, it might very well be an heirloom to his family, right? He might very well want to keep that for himself, but I think that the church would rightfully claim it. What do you think, chat? I mean, you know, it's a family heirloom, and what is church if not family? Checks out to me. His dad was a god. I mean, I can tell you for a fact that that's not true. And now is also currently doing the stuck trying to catch live animal. You know, I'm just gonna say I think that this might be bugged. Or just maybe doesn't work on this biome or something. That's unfortunate. Oh shit, a polar bear. Man, I want it. So my squad has returned. All of the soldiers have arrived. Let's see how that raid went. The Iron of Power attacked the cruelty of weavers, of the Deceiver of Depressions. The dwarf Neezer led the attack. The defenders were led by the goblin Uspu. Dungeon Doomed. That sounds like a 1980s roguelike. Neezer outmatched the goblin with a cunning plan, and the attackers had a strong positional advantage in Menace Flood. We struck down a goblin almost immediately. Storier got the kill. Another goblin was struck down by Suxul. Uspu was struck down, and they looted treasure and seized livestock. I wonder what we got. Bunch of beak dogs, some backpacks, prepared giant cave toad intestines, and a silver scimitar. I haven't seen any birds. Maybe what we should do instead is catch live fish. But I think we need aquariums for that, don't we? I don't know if they can use cages for those. Oh, well, they can. So is this dwarf just really weak, or are you just having, like, a brain spasm? Or are you just waiting for a fish to arrive? Yeah, so the issue that they're having is they can't find path to live animals. So, okay, let's look at this. Because, like, theoretically, this spider right here should be catchable. Like, that spider should be catchable. So should that one. I think for live fish, they need to be visible. I think. So yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that. Because I feel like they should be able to catch the spiders. Or maybe they need meals? But I don't know. They either need the right type of food or something. Because I have definitely caught live vermin before. Yeah, I don't know. I think what might be happening is because I have the caverns sealed off, they might be trying to get something that's in the caverns that they can't actually get to. That's my current suspicion. Yes, I have small animal traps. That's what the dwarf was hauling. So he was hauling it. As part of doing that job. Yeah. I have 10 iron ones. Should catch them eventually? Yeah, but if it's just canceling repeatedly, I don't think they're going to catch them eventually. Pretty sure it's a non-starter at that point. Maybe it's a skill thing? No, it's a job canceling thing, which means it's inaccessible, which means they're not training skill. So it says, Ranger Rick, Holy Whip, cancels catch live land animal. Could not find path, times 44. Meaning it's inaccessible. You need to set the trap. Okay, how do we do that? Because I'm pretty sure animal traps can be placed in the wild and baited with meat, plants, or... maybe that's what it is. But I don't recall having to do that. Because I thought that they went and just grabbed the cage trap and then went and caught one. But we'll place a couple of these and try and catch some spiders. You might be correct. Very well could be. I don't exactly know what you mean by doing it manually. That's a non-sentence to me. But anyway, let's just not worry about it too much. Let's focus on this dwarf that we're following. And just try and keep the conversations interesting. Me bashing my head against a system that isn't working is not exactly a way to keep things interesting. So just... let's wait. I'm pretty sure Anandar is correct in the YouTube chat. Also, Anandar, if you want me to actually read what you're saying, pop into Twitch chat. Just saying. But Anandar is probably right in the YouTube chat, which is, it's trying to get to something in the sealed caverns. It's trying to get to something that's inaccessible. And because it's inaccessible, it means that they can't get to it, because the caverns are sealed off, right? So if they're trying to get somewhere in the caverns that is inaccessible, then how are they going to catch something? Make sense? Also, it's really hot today. Like, it's way too hot. So if I seem a little snappy, it's this part of it. All right, so since we did the fighting, where the heck is this polar bear? Polar bear pretty close, actually, to fort. Just plop a cage trap down right there. Let's plop a cage trap right there. Let's plop a cage trap right there. Maybe like a random cage trap down there. Let's go up to here. Go to pets and livestock, and type in beak, and just be like, hey, look, beak dog's back on the menu, kids. Heck yeah. I'm going to go here and unsuspend that, unsuspend that, unsuspend that. And this is going to be a combo thing. This is going to be Ranger Rick's bedroom, but it's also going to be an artifact hall for artifacts claimed by this church. That's, I don't know what 94 degrees is, but that sounds really hot, so I will agree with you that that's too hot. Oh, last week was fine here. I don't know about where you're at, but... It's 34C? What is it outside right now? It is 31C. Yeah, it's too hot. For me, anything that's above like 25, I start complaining. Because that's about when my apartment stops being able to handle it properly. At a level that's functional. $37C? How much further south from me are you? Because you said Pacific North, like Pacific West. Like where on the coast are you? If I can ask. Curious about where it's that hot. Oregon? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. I believe it. Okay, so while that's working, we're going to follow you. The worst part is it's pretty moist. Yeah, it's very humid. Lots of humidity. So what I should be working on right now, actually, because I don't think I finished this. Yeah. I need to be making a big front bridge for the front of the fort. Because I need a way to block this off. So this whole front thing here is going to be a bridge. and it's going to be sealed off. And this door needs to be open. And I need a way of easily cleaning this. I also need a way of easily defending this. So I'm thinking Marks Dwarves all the way along the tops of this. And then soldiers in the middle. Because that's way more fun than, you know, just building cannons or something. Yeah, you're pretty far south from me. And also just remember when we're talking about these temperatures, I don't have any air conditioning. I just have a fan on me. That's it. I have a fan next to a space heater. Okay, so let's keep following you. See what you're up to. Funness. Doesn't really like the performances. Something else I can do is I can temporarily delete the anything goes temple to incentivize people to go into their temples. Which is good for, like, Ranger Rick. So I think I'm going to do that for a little bit, because right now I have this temple. That is just the anything goes temple. But if I get rid of that, then that would incentivize dwarves to go to this temple if they worship this god, you know? Or go to this temple if they worship this god, right? So I'm going to try and incentivize that a little bit. We're also going to jump back up to the world map. We're going to go find some more goblins that are not friendly with us, and we're going to go attack them. Preferably ones that have items worth stealing. Liefly? And you saying combats. Appear devil. A devil appears. Everybody. This is one that would be fun to take out. Portal Den. Because Portal Den is a goblin fortress. It's a dwarven fortress that got taken over by goblins. And this would also be fun. These forest retreats. These goblin forest retreats. Musings on Squidyon. Okay. Let's go. It's the National Nightmare. They are a different faction. So which one's this one? Deceiver of Depressions. I'm not going to go for the big one just yet. We're going to go for this. It's the one with 10 in it. And we're also going to go for this, the one with 60 in it. So we're attacking two different locations. Hexlit and Appear Devil are the two that we are going for. Go across here. Fill this in. Oh, that's flooring. I wonder if I can make an office and then assign it to this temple. It's a very nice fort in that, by that logic. Also, that might be the most used pun in Dwarf Fortress. Just saying. Listening to a history right now, or listening to a story right now. Apparently it was. Now he's gonna go put something in a stockpile. We're running low on drinks again. Wonder why that is. Let's just start brewing drinks. Let's get some going. Rather have too many than not enough. What's up, manlet boy? Well, it's good to have you. We're currently following this dwarf who is a religious figure of the fortress named after somebody from chat. He currently just wants martial training, but I mean, I'm just working on getting him a bedroom more than anything. Like using nice in your forts? It's a pretty color. It's not the nicest color, but it's a nice color. It's not the nicest, specifically. Well, if you're a longtime VOD watcher, I'll say that it's. I've been told by people it's quite shocking to be listening to a VOD months later and then hear your name in the background. Many people have informed me of this, which I find rather amusing. So a lot of dwarves leaving the map now. Still got quite a few that need to leave before they're ready to go. Stodir and Suxul specifically, as well as Indiridius, Kazum, Sirius Salsas, Dark and Dawn, etc. But it looks like religious figures are not above slaughtering animals. Hot damn! Dumont has created a masterpiece silver ring x3. Arash has created a masterpiece andesite nest box ×2. Kyokyo Doka has improved a lead chest masterfully. Lots of masterfully improved chests. RE3 for a loop a little bit, hearing your name. Well, there you go. Forever ruined. Anander in YouTube chat says he's gone back and watched old VODs and heard his name, and his thought usually is, hey, that's me. My thought would be, I remember. Hopefully. Saw Dwarf tell the story of the formation of the Company of Steel at Goretusk in the mid-spring of 368 at the Crystalline Tusk, and I find this somewhat admirable. Now brewing some drinks. Multifaceted dwarf. He's also got that large, nice pot that he's working on. All right, let's check the caves real quick. All right. I don't know what traps spiders want, but I'm going to presume it's either meat or fish. Probably meat, but I'll bait them with meat and fish. Dwarf over here is just brewing drinks. You know, got to get them bilberries rolling. Looks like all of the brew drink jobs kicked in. Okay, so up here, this is just going to become Rick's bedroom. Masterfully improved cabinet. Masterfully improved chest. But we're also going to give him an office. And we're also going to give him some statues for that office. Put the rest of them in here. As well as an altar. This is finally becoming a proper temple. Except I gotta go around the edge here and erase all this. All right. Any tips on how to win? Don't get into world wars. That's my tip on how to win. And I'm kind of not joking, actually. You don't win in war. My tip on how to survive is turtle. Don't, let the enemy into your fort. Don't let your dwarves see the dead, and do not let the enemy, do not let your dwarves clean up the dead, and just very slowly attack them and wear them down. You can't extract venom, I don't think. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to survive this heat because my brain is working at quarter capacity currently. Maybe catch a polar bear. Wait for elephants to grow up and train them. That's what I'm trying to do. Prepared beak dog gizzard. Prepared beak dog kidney. Prepared beak dog whatever. We'll see if we catch anything. An elf diplomat gets stuck in the river, was only 3 of 7 high. He simply refused to leave the pond. Even though your other dwarves waded into to pick up his logs. Sounds like you have stuck. Later the water froze and he died and the elves got mad at you. Yep. Yeah, I know. It sounds like pathing error. Happens on larger maps especially. Excuse me. So this dwarf's got a beak dog meat roast. I mean, that's one way to think about it, certainly. Okay, so the Ivory Priests have all left the map. It's now on the top map. So this dwarf wants excitement and martial training. Something I've been wanting to do, but kind of procrastinating on, is I've wanted to make a Mark's Dwarf's training area. This area ain't working, so I will just delete this. And let's set up for Mark's Dwarf training. Let's make a firing range. And I'm going to do it by going along here. Actually, maybe along the top. Let's do along right there. That'll do fine. And this can be the doorway in here. We can also have stairs going down here, leading out that way. We can also dig this out and this out. So I'm going to make a thing to train Mark's Dwarves. Actually, I can have two. And then I think I will put Ranger Rick into a Mark's Dwarf squad. And also just any dwarf, pretty much. Because the nice thing about Mark's Dwarf training is it's not a super demanding job, if that makes any sense. Like, they don't have to be doing it all the damn time. And let's just go here and say leather quiver. I don't even know if I have a leather workshop. I know I have a tanner. I presume I don't. I have not been interested in community forts ever. People stopped submitting them in April 2022 or 2023, and I worked through a backlog for 6 months, and people stopped watching them. Why would I be interested in making something I never really wanted to make in the first place? I started doing it out of chat peer pressure and continued doing it because people watched them. Not because it was a type of content I wanted to make, or because it was a type of content I enjoyed making. The main reason I didn't enjoy making it is people get really entitled. They send in a fort and then go send me a DM 7 hours later saying, so when is it going to get covered? I'm like, well, I'm 6 weeks behind back in those days. And then they lose interest by the time it comes out. And then after I've covered it, then they send me a DM asking why I never covered it. And on top of that, you would then have people who would send in forts that are modded out the ass that I couldn't find the exact right versions of the exact right mods for to load them. And then the game crashes. It was a series I hated making, a series I didn't enjoy, and a series that people got really bored of, and a series that was the worst viewed thing on my channel by the end of it. So I stopped making it a long time ago, and I'm happy it's gone. It's impossible for friendly fire on firing ranges. Also, the angle that I'm going to position it at, they won't be firing across each other anyway. Crundelicious. Anyway, how you doing? I can slowly crank up the number of bedrooms back here. But what's up, Crundle? Why do you ask about community forts? More importantly, why are people still asking me about community forts? I haven't uploaded one of those in like almost a year now. I tried to bring them back briefly. I had like a stupid thought that maybe I could make them work in a way that would be enjoyable with adventure mode. But I put out the call for more forts and literally not a single person submitted one. So I was like, well, I guess this series is just dead now. Fuck it. So the bow was put on it back in April. Or maybe the spike or gravestone. It was engraved and finalized back in April. Oh, we've caught an Ulm. Tame a small animal. Get to it, Rick. Okay, so that works. They just can't do it automatically, which is interesting. Yeah, most people take breaks from Dwarf Fortress. It's pretty normal. It's like, it's not one of those games that you really play for, like, the only game for the rest of your life, unless you're truly a crazy person like me. It's more of a game that, like, you dip in and out of when there's major updates. What's up, Grundle? Welcome back. I mean, your name is Crundleicious, so you are doomed to return to Dwarf Fortress inevitably. Since every single person speaking in my chat isn't subscribed right now, I'm definitely going to make sure I pause the game, because I'm presuming half of you have ads. So we're in an ad break now. So what brings you back, Crundle? If I can ask, unless you're in an ad, at which point then I will ask that question again in 30 seconds if you don't answer it. About fucking time, Etho. Hopefully people spot it and read it and remember it. You're here? Really? I had no idea. I actually didn't. I mean, I saw you here earlier, but I didn't know you were still here. How was I supposed to know that you're still here? I mean, you could do a round of beers if you want. Yeah, I'll start it even. Post beers, chat. Okay. Sorry. Does YouTube get ads on live videos? I have an ad blocker. You just explained why YouTube pay sucks in one sentence. I also use an ad blocker. No shit. It gets ads on lives. Jeez. How else do you think they pay for all the bandwidth? Welcome back, Spud. It's good to see you. Streamer doesn't stare at his lurker list, no. And no, I do not take that advice that Ninja said on his masterclass on how to be a pro streamer, which is read through my list of people watching the stream and call out every person's name individually and say hi. Which is, in fact, a thing that Ninja said that you should do. So you never relieve and return for features. So your favorite part of adventure mode was building the camp and using as a main base and Eternal Fortress. So you never leave and return for features. So what you're saying is you play Dwarf Fortress forever. I'm confused. So we've tamed an Ulm. Doesn't have much value. I wonder if I can... I'm pretty sure I can put those in bigger traps, right? Probably can't chain them. That'd be funny if I could, though. Would it sound like a Patreon readout? You mean like the last 15 minutes of most podcasts that I don't listen to anymore? Hall of Domination just founded Joy Whips. There you go. Thank you, Manlit Boy, for gifting a subscription. Appreciate you. Sorry, if I seem a little sassy today, the heat is kind of getting to my brain a bit. I get cranky when it's hot. Is there a particular dwarf you guys would like me to continue following? This dwarf right here just happens to be the one that chat wanted to follow previously, who's a religious figure of one of the temples. I also recommend that you check the ! characters command. Y'all get angry when it's hot? The thing that makes me the most angry about the summer is I see other people outside who are happy. I know, Salva. What makes you think you're so important? Dwarf wants to practice martial art. So let's finish this. Military. Archery target. Doop. And now I need to do the floors first. Genuinely made you so happy. I mean, I don't like going. I said this to my mom once, and she looked at me like I was a crazy person, which is I don't like going outside in public space in the summer because it makes me feel chronically single. And I stand by that statement. Your brain begins cutting out everything not related to you, cooling down when you're too hot. Yes. Word. Well, hell yeah. So Killer Spud says that they started a work from home job, so they'll be around more. Well, that's cool. Everybody should work from home. Money on Twitch would be way easier to make. And summers would be less annoying. But you do not want to do your job at home. Well, okay, fair enough. Point taken. Not everybody is a taxidermist, though. Not everybody, like, you know, is gutting animals for a living. You suck at home officing? Yeah, me too. So now that all this is done, I can... Whoop. Fully zoomed in camera is kind of unwieldy sometimes. Ah, God damn it. All right, let's go here and just go military, archery, boop. You know, yeah, we'll just use whatever's closest for this. So we're gonna have one shooting this way and then one shooting this way. So it'll be that way and this way. Then up here, back here, we'll just use obsidian or whatever's close even, which will be nice. And this will just be staggered training, so it won't be permanent training. Wonder if they made those quivers. Yep, they made those quivers. Why only 3? Thought I told them to make 10. We'll have to see how many quivers we actually need. So another one of my squads returned. They raided Hexlit. Hexlit. It's hard to say. What's up, Optimus? You have nailed it. Since September, it's how you found Twitch. What, background office noise? They snuck in to Hexlit undetected. And the trampled machine searched there, and they stole a bunch of books. Successful heist. Also stole a slate coffer, a copper breastplate, a beak dog leather water skin, and some other nonsense. All right, well, that's a bit ambitious. Wait, hold on. Weak stolen. Didn't I steal stuff from there? Pretty sure I stole stuff from there in adventure mode. Dark Goblin Pits, Dark Goblin Pits. Maybe it was Seduce Deep, actually. I'm just gonna check something. What's your combat skills currently? Adequate ambusher. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go down to here, go north. Chat, what sounds cooler? Demon Shinner or Tan Sins? What sounds cooler? The lunch money you've saved has gone towards Twitch. Even when I worked in McDonald's, I was the guy who packed the lunch. Anything demon sounds cool. I don't know. I was just asking. It's called baiting for chat interaction. So it's the demon shimmer of the lie of bewitching, of the deceiver of depressions. All right, so Alien Slayer's squad and these dwarves, they're all going to go after Demon Shimmer. I love how they leave their ill-gotten gains, like, in the middle of here. This one, which is actually a coffer that they stole, it's a slate coffer that is encircled with bands of jaguar bone and menaces with spikes of sandstone and pond turtle shell. And I think I will actually slap that right here. They can keep their ill-gotten gains. As for books, Genius the Truth. Well, that's expensive. It's a lizard devil parchment scroll. It's made from dolomite. It's an essay entitled Genius the Truth, authored by Rin. It concerns the creation of relief leads, the definitive guide in relief leads by the human Rin, noiseless most, in the late winter of 252. The writing is reasonably serious overall. The prose is not awful, but not very good either. It's made out of what? Put the loot on a pedestal? Sure. I don't think I have any pedestals right now, though. Let's make 20 rock pedestals, because they all just kind of look the same. Pedestal. 20 rock pedestals, although I'll make them out of, like, something that I have a lot of. Like, I don't know, andesite? Genius the Truth. Genius the Truth sounds like a video game. I think you're right, yeah. Or, like, they do until they're constructed. Like, yeah, they do, but once they're constructed and have an item on them, they don't. But, for whatever it's worth, for a good chunk of time there, neither did, trade depots. It took trade depots a while to get different colors. Also, the Bloody Tusks have returned, which is the other squad. They raided a Pier Devil. Whenever the library gets new books, every dwarf has to read every new book. So it'll be very dead in a little bit when there's no new books. But as soon as there's new books... the Iron of Power attacked the Seducer of Brightness. That's funny. At the Deceiver of Depressions at a Pier Devil, Neezer Channel Fasten led the attack, and the defenders were led by the Goblin Binny. Tempted Root. The Dwarf Neezer outmatched the Goblin Binny, Tempted Root, with a cunning plan, and the attackers had a strong positional advantage. Goblin was struck down. Another Goblin was struck down. Goblin was, like, their right eyelid was smashed and then struck down. Same story, but struck down. Kodo got this one. And their leader was struck down by a Darkened Dawn, and we looted treasure. What do we get? Copper pick, a donkey bone, a turkey bone earring, a horse bone amulet, Gorlak leather glove. Oh, God. A large silver dagger. An iron scimitar. Lots of scimitars and backpacks and loincloths. So, okay, how good are you at your job now, Neezer? That's the important question. You're a novice ambusher. Okay, we need to wait a little bit longer on you then. No 10,000 population things for you to hit. Release hexes. Menace flanked, menace floored. Doom Shimmer. Demon Shimmer. We'll go hit the other one. And they immediately turn around and head back out. How could they skin a Gorlak? Goblins have absolutely no morals. Basically. That's why I always joke that they are the libertarian like faction in Dwarf Fortress. It's because they have no morals and they don't care. They don't care about your rules and don't follow them. You've been thinking about making a post on the Baytroll forums. I guarantee you that Tarn's response to stuff like that is literally just going to be, haven't gotten to it yet, I'm planning to get to it. So, for whatever that's worth. Let's do rock mechanisms, and I'm going to make them obsidian, and I'm going to do a bunch of them. 25. Oh, I don't actually have that much obsidian available. Okay, fine. Time to go find some obsidian. Fortunately, it's easy to find. Just means dig over to where Volcano is. Okay. And then let's just double check that I actually told them to make those out of obsidian. Yes, I did. Okay. It's warm. And I'm going to put a lever in the mayor's bedroom. So chat wanted to follow Grandpa, I think. Where is Grandpa? Currently hunting. What you hunting, Grandpa? Hunting a muskox. Good old Gramps. Couldn't hurt to remind him. I mean, yeah, of course, but I think that's more of like not a bug report. That's the wrong term. It's more of like a just unfinished feature. You know, I think we should put Grandpa into a Marksdwarf squad because you know he is like an adequate Marksdwarf at this point. I mean, I think he gave up on hunting that particular grub. He's actually gonna go get more bolts because he ran out of bolts. Do you want the answer or not? It will knock it off the pedestal. Crundle. The pedestal would probably be fine if it was magma safe. The item on it, eh. Although cages do, so if it's a lava safe cage, the item inside it remains safe-ish. Okay, so we'll do this, this, and this, and this, and this, except for directly on top of this, because that looks ugly. And then this is just going to be for ammo, but, asterisk, only bolts. And this is going to have no bolts in it. It could have other ammo in it, but no bolts. Okay, so then right here, we're going to zoom in. We're going to unsuspend that. Unsuspend that, unsuspend that, and go over to here, hit military, and put another archery target right there. And then we're going to start training for archery. And this squad right here, we're going to put them onto monthly orders. So they're going to periodically train. But first they're going to go, I guess, move the bolts over. Yeah. Chat, how do you guys feel about attacking things into our fortress? Do you find it entertaining? Because to me, it is one of the least interesting things you can actually do in this game. And I know that, like, a lot of people like it because of the allure of it. It's like, Tawa, or whatever. Hoorah. Big, cool military thing. But for me, from like a viewer's perspective, I find it to be the least interesting part of the game. I'm curious if you guys have any input, but just because it's just click a location on map, press go, wait a bit. It's like busting a piñata. Care to elaborate? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess. Should be able to zoom to the fight. Yeah, it's not possible in the engine currently. We'll get there eventually, but we're not there just yet. Let's just set them to train for a little bit so that they just go train temporarily. I thought I put... Oh. So let's see. How much gear do I have versus what I need? Oh, because they're not actually assigned anything. Duh. Okay, let's just give them a custom uniform. We'll call this crossbow. And it's just going to be... Let's tell them to wear... caps. And crossbows. And shields, if they're available. And then let's just assign uniform and crossbow. Oh, shit. We got a dwarf who's brawling under the influence, apparently. Or who brawled under the influence? Is that a crime? I guess it's not quite considered a crime because I don't have anybody to consider it a crime, but somebody did start a fight, which is always fun. Did I... Oh. Tell them to take the clothes off? I certainly did. Well, the concept of naked soldiers is hysterical, but that's not really what I wanted you to do. So let's just open this whole thing up here and go to details and be like, hey, wear overclothing. Oh, I see what I need to do. I didn't make them plural. Details. I just want them to be able to go put pants back on. That can happen? Yep. That's why it said a dwarf was brawling under the influence. It's absolutely what that means. Okay, so Ranger Rick apparently got his stuff. But currently is running around shirtless and pantsless. It is kind of... He's basically a, what's the word? For a good chunk of time there, for a few seconds, he was basically just like one of those little angels. Just a little naked angel that just shoots love at people. Cherubs, or whatever they're called. All right, well, they should be going over here to train pretty soon. Unless I told them to shoot the wrong direction. No, that's correct. That's quite the distance you're going to go get this. Yeah, it's because they all need quivers. Bolts have not bugged out in about a year and a half. The only issue that was happening previously, Quogger, is people would tell them to use just... When this version released, you couldn't specify what type of ammo you want to use. And people still consider this to be a problem. I don't. The reason people still consider this a problem is because they want to use wooden bolts for training, because bolts are single use, and metal bolts for combat. This hasn't worked in the game or been a necessity in maybe 10 years. What you're optimally doing is telling them to shoot the bolts into a hole. If they go into a hole, it splits the stack, and then they go up into here. And yes, you should absolutely store them in bins. Because if you don't store them in bins, then, well, you're just going to have bolts everywhere. Individual bolts, because it splits the stack and you can't restack them. But no, bolts have not bugged out in a very long time. The issue that was in Premium when it first released is that bolts would, or people would try and use bolts and arrows at the same time and didn't realize that they needed to be differentiated between. So now the dwarves just do that automatically. If they have a crossbow equipped, they will only pick up bolts. If they have a bow equipped, they will only pick up arrows. But don't do bows anyway, because dwarves can't make arrows. So crossbows have worked just fine for a very long time. See? Perfect. They fire it. Although I do need to fix their uniforms. Them being naked is kind of hysterical, but... Partial matches only. Okay, fine. I will just automatically just assign all these. Okay, so let's just say headwear, handwear, legwear, handwear. Did I say handwear twice? Yes. No, I didn't. Footwear, shield, yes, yes. And this will be crossbow, confirm, and save uniform. Update equipment for everybody. Assign uniform for this whole squad. No, lowercase crossbow now. Get rid of the old crossbow. There we go. I just want them wearing clothes, that's all. Keep the uniform, it's funny. It's terrible for their moods, so not really. It's also not great for their health. Got a squad that's returned. We raided Demon Shimmer. But yeah, bins basically don't bug out. The only thing with bins is it's hard to get items out of them. But I think that's a design decision, and if you actually have trouble getting items out of bins, I recommend making all of your bins out of metal. So if you've got a particular item in a bin that you need to get out of it, just either A, organize your stockpiles better, or B, just melt the bin, which is what I generally do now. The Deceiver of Depressions, Alien Slayer led the attack, and the defenders were led by a goblin named Arstruck Evil Snail. That's the evil version of Snail. Alien Slayer outmatched the goblin with a cunning plan, and the attackers had a strong positional advantage in Demon Shimmer. Orid was struck down. Goblin was killed. Clashed with 6 goblins, slaying them. Clashed with 5 goblins, slaying them. I think, yeah, they're taking out pretty large groups of goblins here. Took out another goblin named Spuss, and they trampled machine, looted treasure, and seized livestock from Demon Shimmer. What do we get? Bunch more beak dogs, yummy! As well as some steel greaves, ooh. It was on your end. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's not frozen. That does happen though, so that's a fair question. Beak. Nom 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 nom. All right, who are we hitting now? Yeah, the reason I ask about if you guys find combat interesting is because chat's just real quiet, and I'm mostly just kind of attacking things right now, which I am very aware, and I personally feel is like the least interesting thing I could be doing, but people also seem often weirdly excited when I'm attacking things. I guess it's so that I get attacked by things. And like, it's one of those things that's always perplexed me, I guess. Okay, actually, what is Alien Slayer's ambush skill currently? Competent ambusher. Let's do like 2 more attacks with Alien Slayer first. Let's go hit Demon Shimmer again. Hello, Diaz. It's good to see you. People like conflict? I suppose. I think people think they like conflict, and then when they're actually put in conflict, they realize they don't like conflict. And I also have to... I should have done this a while ago, actually, but I have to make some nest boxes for in here. Get eggs. And I'm going to go over to here and check the leather shop. How much leather do I have? Leather? Okay, so I have, like, no tanned hides. Do I not have a leather tanner's shop? I do. Did I turn off automatic tanning hides for some reason? Nope. Well, that's fun. All right, so let's slaughter... Well, I guess we are slaughtering things. So we should be getting... Beak dog hide, no? Bone. Decorate with bone. We'll just start decorating stuff with bone. What is required for raiding? More than 2 dwarves in a squad and some weapons, maybe. And then just time. Sounds like you need to get another backpack, Ranger Rick. Backpacks are not that big. Books are pretty big. There really is no requirements for raiding. You just need to do it, basically. Got a dwarf here decorating stuff with dog bone. Who is the most upset dwarf in the fort currently? One's a dwarf who's about to leave the map. The other one's Rovod still. What are you upset about? You want to craft an object? Still don't have a proper bedroom. Saw a goblin's dead body once. How about we do this? Rovod, have a bedroom. Dig out big square, wait a bit. That's my go-to strategy for strip mining. I also don't generally strip mine. Because I usually have it either set up so that I'm pretty good at just finding ore, and I don't prioritize ore, I think, as heavily as some people do. So, unfortunately, I don't think I can give you the best advice here. So this dwarf wants to speak with the Dead Communion, and the Dead Communion member that we have is Ranger Rick, who's currently picking up equipment. So I guess what I should do, actually, is set them to train and remove the mandatory training, basically. So I would just... okay, you've technically got your martial training so far. Maybe we'll just put them on monthly orders. Also, another dwarf has begun a mysterious construction, it looks like. This one using iron bars. I'm also realizing I never actually put that hammer into here. You can drink straight from a river. You have to be right beside the water. You have to be able to reach it. I mean, when you look at the weight of the books, they're like large coffee table books. Like large coffee table books. And this one could be a sword. Well, they're all weaponsmiths. Looks like you guessed right, Vel. Mestos, the weaponsmith, has created Nekutmuz, an iron short sword, and offers it to the trampled machine. What religion do you worship? The Doctrine of Fortresses, would you look at that? This is an iron short... Which one is the Doctrine of Fortresses? Was it this one? The Abbey of Walls, the Lined Coven. This one is the Doctrine of Fortresses. Okay, so it would be put into here, if anything. How are you too chatty? I'm literally begging chat to talk half of the time. You've said 4 things in the last recent memory. Too chatty. Yes, definitely. All craft starship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with rectangular andesite cabochons and encircled with bands of round hematite cabochons and rectangular bands and rectangular. Blah, blah, blah. Why? Nobody's throwing money at stream. Oh, I see, because you said post beers. I guess you could post beers then. So it is insert. Anyways, Valsen should win a sub or something. Don't make me do it, chat. This object menaces with spikes of nice cabochons and iron and muskox bone. On the item is an image of a decahedron and hematite. On the item is an image of dwarves and tower cap. Thanks, Claiborne.
Here's a bit more beer incentive.
For the 20th month. Appreciate you. Aren't you streaming right now? Spikes of that. On the item is an image of a decahedron and hematite. On the item is an image of dwarves and tower cap. The dwarves are contemplating. The artwork relates to the ceremony held by the Iron of Power in Coal Glove as part of the Turquoise Festival in the mid-winter of 279. During, whatever this is, whenever they'll let me scroll, during the 187th main ceremony of the Turquoise Festival, on the item is an image of Atir Onslaught clasps, the dwarf and dwarves in yellow zircon. Atir Onslaught clasps is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Atir Onslaught's clasps to the position of king of the Iron of Power in year 1. And werewolves are taking over. Oh boy. Well, good luck. I'm sure you'll be fine. I think Ranger Rick the Greedy will claim this short sword for himself, even though it's not related to his religion. But thank you for the beer incentive. Appreciate you, mate. Also, let me check something. No, nothing in cages. How about here? Nothing in cages. Dwarf's got nothing but a tunic on. And it's troll fur. That's kind of gross. So my squad has returned from raiding Tan Sins. I mean, we had a wereskink show up and kill a few dwarves earlier, but it didn't really infect anybody. Slipped in, and stole treasure and livestock. There we go. Bunch of beak dogs. Okay, so because we're stealing treasure and livestock pretty consistently now, I'm not quite willing to go that enthusiastic, but Seduce Deep? Yeah. We're just going to try and steal livestock. Free captives belonging to your civilization. We're gonna steal livestock. So Seduce Deep is a fortress that I raided in adventure mode. With my necromancer, I think. Does livestock equal food source on this map? The livestock that we are stealing from them are beak dogs, which are goblin mounts, basically. They're not food source on this map, but they are a food source, and they're on the map now, but they didn't come from this map. We stole them from that location, basically, is what that means. Troll fur sounds really soft. The funny thing about trolls is they're like sheep. They get sheared. So it's like, it sounds like they're killing the trolls to, like, take their fur, but it's, like, ethical, supposedly. How's UGDPY doing? Of course, if anybody wants me to check in with a particular dwarf, this is how, like, you know, we get entertainment here. Content after pondering biography. Oh, he's pondering biography. Would you look at that? Also likes reading all of the books. Currently is reading The World Without the Movement of Animals. Ooh. Wants to acquire an object, though. How's the budgie? We learned today that Budgie is against putting power lines underground because then the birds can't charge at night. Very important point that I never would have thought of myself, to be honest. I'm starting to get confused with this uniform that these guys all have. Sounds like a dwarven romance book. You know, a lot of dwarven things sound like romance stuff if you think about it too hard. But we do know that Budgie is feeling great. He's a legendary weaponsmith. He's still just the manager. He is greedy. He still wants to acquire an object, which is funny to me because that means that he still hasn't acquired the silver rings. So you know what I'm going to do, actually? Silver... Well, actually, let's just say rings is what I need. Ring. Finished goods. Rings. And... actually, you know what? Screw that for a second. Instead, let's go up to here and say ring. Finished goods. Rings, yes. And then down here, I'm going to be like, yep. 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 Yes. Yes. And yes. Putting them all into here will, you know, help this front. Now all these rings get hauled there, so there's a higher chance dwarves will claim them. And we've got Ranger Rick doing what? Running around with no pants on and one glove on. How are the elephants doing? Still babies, still growing, slowly. There really isn't too much to talk about there. Like, truly, there isn't too much to talk about there. It's like they're growing up and they look about the same. They don't really have thoughts or personalities like the dwarves, you know? They're just domesticated and growing slowly. But here's hoping by the end of today, I can get some dragons or something. Because I know for a fact that that location I just sent them off to go after, this one, the Bloody Tusks at Seduce Deep, that location literally is a place that has dragons in it. If it's the one that I'm thinking of. So we shouldn't have too much issue there. Can you train more elephants? Yep. But they need to be adults, though. And they take 10 years to become adults, and these ones are not adults. I'm also going to make, like, 50 copper bins. To prove to you guys that I don't actually hate bins. I mean, not 50. Let's do 30. Let's do 30 for right now. Mostly because I can't remember how many bars they require. I'm going to go clean stuff. Do I even have... Yeah, I do have a well. Since you haven't seen their pen today. Okay, I don't know. Oh, right. I remember why I don't like doing these cage traps, chat. Because if they don't catch things, you just get miasma literally fucking everywhere. Oops. Yeah, they're just right here. They haven't moved. I probably should make them a nicer pen, but they're down here because it's the only place they can go, really. At least it's the only place that's big enough to feed the two of them. One of them's almost fully grown. The other one's 2 years off. The female one's getting there, though. Yes, they can go on raids. Does that cancel out the raid quietly option? No, that's dictated by the person running the raid. So the dwarf in charge of the raid, the leader, the militia captain, they dictate how the raid goes, basically. Everybody else is just following. I mean, obviously, they crouch down and they sneak. How else would elephants stealth? Sheesh. Ranger Rick is reading Genius the Truth, which is that demon leather book, which is a pretty cool sounding book. So I'm just going to plop these over here and just put cool sounding books onto those. And we'll put... Okay, no statues currently. That's fine. How about tables? How many tables do I have currently? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1. Okay, perfect. 10 tables. And then and all the way up here. So those tables go there, and then this becomes a dining hall, which is connected to the tavern. Because dining hall make people happy. And the reason you should put dining halls in places is because then they eat food there, and then it attracts them there, and then they're more likely to do stuff there. And this will be connected to the, not the tavern, the library, the bastion of animals. I can never remember how it works, but it's in difficulty. You go to settings, custom settings and difficulty, and then there's agitation settings here. I'd have to read them again, though. Wilderness irritation, decay, more equals safer. Wilderness irritation, minimum, less equals sooner. These settings. Sensitivity, irritation, minimum, decay. It's all under difficulty. Or just don't settle on untamed wilds biomes. Well, but that's how you get large animals, so. So because this is all connected to this now, this is all one giant zone. Chuck a fish cleaner in here. Because this is one giant zone now. They will use this to study as well. Instead of just like standing around these bookshelves here. Which will actually be quite good for their mental health. And I think that they are just taking a very slow time to just walk over there, which is fine. There you go, Lucas. Happy to help. They walk on their trunks. I like to think that the dwarves just give them sneak slippers. You know, like those shoes that you can equip in video games that make you sneaky. I like that more than them walking on their trunks, because could you imagine stepping on your own nose? I feel like that would hurt. I feel that like that's likely a very unsafe way to walk. It's probably a good way to trip, actually. It's like, have you ever seen a dwarf bumble over their head and like buckle onto their forehead? Also, chat, I got good news. Video that I uploaded yesterday has hit 10,000 views. So that's kind of cool. It has slowed down a lot, though. It picked up briefly for an hour and then slowed back down. Kind of cool. Elephant booties is what I'm trying to say. Very fancy lead thrones. We're waiting for Indiridius to leave the map, and then we're ready to go here. How you doing here, Indiridius? No kills yet? Dwarf just wants to perform. Poor spatial sense, but a thrill seeker. Was it a good video? Well, I've said if that video hits 100,000 views, rather, I will try and recover the blockade's shield, or resurrect the blockade from hell. Which would be very slow, laborious, and boring, probably, but I have said that. But it needs to hit 100,000 views, which is no slouch. They can perform. Yeah, I mean, every squad needs a bard. You know, how else are they going to maintain their enthusiasm to walk in a straight line towards the evil enemy that wants to stab their faces? Clearly. If there's a whip, there's a way. What about a loot? Can we have a loot instead of a whip? That seems better for everybody. Yes. You resurrect an unintelligent zombie, and then you apparently kill them, and then you re-resurrect them as an intelligent zombie, and they remain loyal to you and follow you, which is kind of wild. Instead of just standing there and staring at you like, what the fuck are you doing? The Ivory Priest has returned from their squad attack. They raided Demon Shimmer as well. Their second rating of Demon Shimmer. I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm not super interested in the instruments because I find them super tedious to build. I guess I'd have to look them up in the management section. They slipped into Demon Shimmer undetected, and they stole treasure. The goblin Dem, yellow cleared of the Lie of Bewitching, spotted them slipping out. So I saw them on the way out. We stole some more big dogs, as well as some arrows. Ew, gross. And a claystone table, and a steel pick. A cave dragon bone ring. We're getting closer. And gremlin leather armor. I wonder how many gremlins are pretty small. I wonder how many gremlins they had to kill to make gremlin leather armor. Can't have been like an insignificant number. After Tyranny. Bauxite-bound codex. Cave blob parchment scroll. That's fun. The Journey into Ignorance. This is just Elon Musk's autobiography. Or maybe that's just my memoir. I don't know. World Without Questions About the Temple. Journey. Oh, we have a copy. Oh, no, that's not a copy. It's just a book. It's the original. Still gotta try to kill a ghost and revive it. Having had a ghost following me before, I'm pretty sure I couldn't even target it. All right, well, let's try something a little bit more ambitious then. What's your, Alien Slayer, what is your ambushing skill at this point? Skilled ambusher. Let's try something a little bit more ambitious. Did that say devil's scrap? Right. It's devil scrap, but it looks like devil's crap. I'm just gonna, it's devil's crap. That's what it's gonna be for forever. Too ambitious? I think that's a bit too ambitious. Let's go for this one again. Good luck, dwarves. All right, diving back down and into the fortress. I need to be working on this over here. But that obsidian bridge is done. I mean, it's not really possible to choose, but you can predict based on the guild halls that they have and the skills that they have, right? Because they make an artifact based on the highest skill that they have. So if it's a skill that is very commonly had because that is what's available, then yeah, you're going to get more artifacts based on that skill. Poverty Bend Road? That's kind of sad. To me, it just reminds me of a smellier version of Devil's Club, which is a plant that wants you to die. See, this is why making tutorials for video games is a challenge, because I don't know what's mind-blowing for you, Aeronamo. Like, this is just how it works for me. Alright, let's just go all the way along here. Somebody in chat. Here's the thing, Ranger Rick. A lot of people in chat want one, so that's not a fair thing to say. So basically what you're saying is, Greg, pick somebody. You decide, Ranger Rick. If you want to gift it, you decide who gets it. But if you just say, whoever wants one in chat, you have to be a little bit more specific than that. At least be like, press a number on your keyboard, or respond to this thing, or guess this geography quiz. You have to pick somebody. If it's whomever, then I'm picking somebody. The point of this is you pick somebody. Or just don't do that and let somebody else claim it. You could just point out very loudly that it's up and somebody could claim it. Shark jumping walrus is getting it? Okay. Jumping shark walrus, what dwarf is Uranus? This isn't a democracy! Lucas. I mean, maybe it could be. All right, Shark, I'm waiting. What kind of dwarf do you want? Fisher dwarf? Do you want Saxul, Rovad? I may have more. Blind IRL's ears are sweating. Blind IRL wants a cold shower. To hell with power. I don't need power. I just need just like a cold shower and like a frozen beverage. Maybe a popsicle. Saxul you want? Okay, I figured. That dwarf looks funny. Got a carpenter beard. Shark jumping walrus wants to acquire an object and have martial training. He exhibits a refined politeness and is determined to keep the guiding rules of decorum when possible. He tends to be swayed by the emotions of others, and he tends to consider what others think of him. He takes offered help and gifts without feeling particularly grateful, and he tends to be a bit stubborn in changing his mind about things. He tends to be a little wasteful in work on projects, and he is not inherently proud of his talents and accomplishments. He doesn't seek out excitement, and he generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day, and a vile force of darkness has arrived. That's very unfortunate and very inconvenient for the exact timing. I'm going to pause the game, and we'll worry about that in a moment. Everybody's off the map. Awesome. He is proud of his talents and accomplishments, and he tries to do things correctly each time. He is a friendly individual and doesn't seek out excitement. He generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day, and he doesn't really, at least for a time, and he doesn't mind working outdoors at least for a time, and he is a hardened individual. He dreams of mastering a skill and personally finds sacrifice to be one of the highest ideals. Views loyalty unfavorably and does not care about family one way or another. He likes tetrahedrite, red zircon, and male shirts, and bronze, and scepters, and chickens for their scratching, and leopard geckos for their coloration. And the sight of the sienna sweetness, and when possible, prefers to consume mango wine and teff flour, and absolutely hates slugs. So, is this a different dwarven faction? It's the Fated Ruthlessness, an image of a Oxo Melody Pipe, the Deceiver Depressions. So, they've attacked me. The first time they attacked me, they demanded a parlay. This time, they're not. I wonder if it's because I've got less dwarves in the fort, technically. None of my dwarves are on map right now, with the exception of my Marks dwarves. And not all of them have quivers. So... And they're not going to win in a fight. They're right next to the front door. So what I need to do is I need to do this. Because right now, all of the dwarves are running outside. Well, I really don't want to do this because then I'll have to reassign all of these wall constructions, but this is the smart thing to do, so I'm going to do it this way. Because they've made it all the way up into here, and they're running directly to... Oh, my God. Can somebody please dump that? Is that in the burrow? It's not. Great. Of course, somebody does the wrong thing. Can I go up here and just pull this lever instead, then? Like, do it before you finish linking that up to a trigger. But can we also remove this brick from the doorway? Did I just delete the burrow on mistake? Fuck me. Heh. That's all I have to say. Idly screaming. At least it's not a big fortress. There's always something in the doors? I don't know. Good time for an ad break, though. I hope it's entertaining to you, because it's not for me. That's all I have to say for situations like these. It's like, well, I hope you're enjoying this, because Jesus Christ. And if you are, act like you're enjoying it. Which means, I don't know, talk, get excited. Pretend that you're watching a Twitch stream. Instead of being a bunch of mature adults for once, damn it. Okay, what am I doing here? Well, I just curse at my screen for a minute until I have this burrow finished. Just hold tight. I don't know. You know, there's one time that I actually want you to post beers, and that's when I've made a bunch of money for no reason out of nowhere. That's the actual reason for posting beers. And, well, we did great earlier today. Then the rest of the days happened. So yeah, you absolutely could post beers. But that's not really conversation. I'm just rambling at this point, don't mind me. Because I have to rebuild this burrow that I accidentally deleted. Okay. That's the one thing that does kind of suck about having a mature adult audience, is when you just want people to fuck around and make jokes, it's really difficult. Okay, are you gonna go in and dino? Oh, look at that. Okay, Dwarf sees a problem and goes, oh god, what have I done? Okay, so there is a dwarf supposedly coming to pull a lever. The dwarf who's pulling a lever is back here, and it's Bonesaw. Bonesaw runs over here, and I will check how many dwarves have died in a moment. Lever gets pulled. We've got this dwarf running away. And Reg, the weaponsmith, who's apparently the spouse of Shark Jumping Walrus, who's currently surrounded by goblins, and also Catan, the weaponsmith, who's currently getting stabbed to death by goblins. The gates are shut, and I can now lock the... What are you doing, Melville? Turn around. And it appears that it's been a bad day. It appears that 5 mugs, Wobble of the Wambler, are being gifted into chat. If you would like a chance to win a mug at no cost to you, courtesy of Moose Moose, ! Enter. You have 120 seconds to comply. I don't know about me dying, but these 4 dwarves certainly are at this exact moment. This was kind of the worst time for this to possibly happen. That's 1 dwarf down. That's Reg. This one here is has several friends, as well as this one here doesn't have any friends, just passing acquaintances. That one there was Shark Jumping Walrus's spouse. The last words of Catan here. I don't even know, but rest in peace, you poor dwarves. So, I'm just going to get this squad of dwarves. Oh, Jesus. I gather some of the snatchers made it in then, hey? Certainly seem their bodies have probably already been disposed of. But there's just like smears on the ground. I'm sending my Marks Dwarf squad, which is very undertrained up here. So, the people that have just won mugs are Indiridius, Deep Sea Fishin, Vera War, Celistaris, and Lucas. I think that's everybody. Click on the redeem link, the shop redeem link, and you can redeem your mug. Thank you, Moose Moose. It's been a minute. Appreciate you continuing the gimmick. So not all of these dwarves have stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Actually, here's a problem. If there's more than 5 of them, which there very well may be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. I'm just gonna assume that they're all okay. There's the last one. I was gonna say they could the other one could very well be taking the back door. It's like he's trying to climb it. Actually, chat, what do you think? Do we wait for the rest of the squads to come back? Or do we attack them head on? Or do we go outside and around the back? What do you think? Because we could go outside and around the back and kill this guy first, open the gates, and then try and corner them. Or we could just let them in. What do you think, chat? And while you guys chit-chat and discuss, I will make the first tomb. And queue up some more. I will say, Ranger Rick is in the squad. Although he's currently all the way the hell out here picking up equipment. I don't know why, but... Could just leave the goblins there as a response to the titans and giants? What titans and giants? There's been no titans or giants in this fort. Oh, now he's gonna go to sleep. How about I do this? Because what this is actually going to end up being is like just a battlement that runs all the way along the top of here. I just didn't have time to actually finish it, obviously. Is this all in the burrow? Yeah, most of the way. In regards to death from above, I could cave the ceiling in on their head. That could be fun. That would actually be a lot safer, ironically, because I don't think they're going to move. Okay, how about I tell this squad to go kill this guy back here. And I dig up here. And dig out this. And go up here. This won't take too long either. I don't see them moving anytime soon. That'll be easy enough. I do need to go up to here, though, and do this. He is trying to climb it. That's the problem. So we'll just ambush this guy from behind. It's a free quiver as well. I hate that they can make silk quivers and I can't. Do you have bolts? Yeah, you do. So Zeril, the militia captain here, is leading the charge and isn't cave adapted, shockingly enough. Well, no, actually not leading the charge. That'd be Eustath, the recruit, who also has bolts. Not super happy about being in a snowstorm. Bolts begin flying. Zolok, the goblin here, jumps away from a flying iron bolt, and it misses him. No, that's just dwarves in general. So it's not a dwarven thing. It's a dwarven thing, not a faction thing. He's dodging all of these bolts. These are all single use because they're hitting the wall. He's just playing Twister, I suppose. Although I guarantee you there's a dwarf who's just gonna, you know, jump on top of him. This is excellent training. Maybe not the greatest for morale, but still excellent training. We've got Erish here, who doesn't have any bolts because he doesn't have a crossbow. Is actually blocked a crossbow, a flying bolt with his shield, and is trying to just beat him. Back here we have this goblin who's just like dodging pretty effectively and just says, in the midst of conflict, I must press on. I guess this is the opportunity for fighting and martial training. This is why I decided not to fight all of them. As you can see, we have very good aim. There is blood on the ground. It is Id, my dwarf's blood. Which one's Id in this case? Id is right here. This recruit, did you get hit by a bolt? Yep, got hit by a copper bolt, which actually damaged your tunic. And the goblin themselves hasn't actually taken any damage yet, but the dwarves do have them pinned down in a corner. Although he is skilled and still dodging like everything and blocking the stuff he's not dodging. Then there's some more dwarf blood on the ground, which this time it's Short Tast's blood. Okay, well, it appears they may have actually hit him once. Okay, so he dropped his crossbow. That's a good sign. They were able to hit him enough that he dropped his crossbow. See, there's now a copper crossbow on the ground. So I can actually just go over here and just yoink, unforbid that. He is still dodging pretty effectively. He's now tired. They're bashing him. They're whacking him. Smacking him. I don't think any of the bolts have actually collided with him, but they did finally manage to kill it. Or not quite, but they're getting there. He's on the ground and they're just beating him to death. Did you just hit him with a bolt or something? Yeah, you did. The flying iron bolt strikes the goblin crossbowman. So somebody's getting training in. You want to make romance and pray and do all kinds of things. Well, we'll let you do that when you're done beating the crap out of this goblin, please. Come on, guys. You got this. Turn him into a pincushion. You're almost there. You're almost there. Oh, sweet. The soldiers have actually arrived. So since the soldiers have arrived, we're going to send them here alongside of these dwarves. And once they arrive, led by Captain Neezer. Do we have a hospital yet? I have a bed in a hallway with a table and a traction bench. Do I have a good hospital? No. Do I have a thing that will work? Yeah. Is it like, will it cover our needs? Certainly. I have a bed in a hallway and there's a floor that's been cleaned sometime in the last year, I think. All right, so the dwarves are all going to come up here to station. We're now going to jump over here and I'm going to pull this lever. What's new here? I mean, it's free, so there's that, Sarlacc. What do you guys notice something different? Chat, yeah. Neezer did well with their squad. Did we lose anybody? No, and we didn't lose anybody. Excellent. Okay, so now we just wait for the gates to open. We have cave dragons, yes. So now it's time to steamroll these goblins and go to war. For real. Bolts are flying. What? Where did... I think my squad just abandoned them, chat. I was like, charge, go get them. And most of the squad's just like, you know what, nah. Fucking hell, man. Oh, boy. So Ranger Rick has run in and is getting the shit kicked out of him. Indiridius appears to be stationing, but you're at the wrong end of the map. They were there. You're just running. Dominoc's running around naked for some reason. Well, they'll be fine. No, they won't. It took all of them to kill a single goblin. So no, they certainly will not be fine. Although a Darkened Dawn is being a hero and has come flying in at the last possible second. It runs directly up to the first goblin that's on the ground with their proficiency in hammerdorfing. I mean, their tombs will be comfy, that's for sure. The hammerdorf bashes the goblin in the upper arm, fracturing the bone. There we go. We have a chance now, chat. Although we did lose another dwarf. We lost Erish, which was actually a crossbow dwarf. So I did lose one of my crossbow dwarves. But Ranger Rick will survive, is also overexerted, but in a martial trance. And hasn't killed anybody, but, you know, has satisfied a lot of needs. And actually, oddly enough, very good dwarf for combat. He doesn't have any negative thoughts. Same with the Darkened Dawn, who's already got, well, two other kills, as well as 5 notable ones. Runs up, and then that's the rest of them. Ranger Rick, did you get injured? Yes, he is winded and seriously injured. He's having trouble breathing. He needs a new shirt real bad. Needs a diagnosis. He's been very heavily injured, but, I mean, he was in a martial trance, and that's the only thing that kept him alive, and he actually whacked a goblin so hard with his shield that it bruised him through his helm. Hi, Sui, how are you? And I'm going to end these stations so that they can now be rescued. In this case, Scuttle, the animal dissector, is a member of the Bloody Tusks, main squad, rescuing him. I was too productive this week, and I'm exhausted now. So now we did notice that we got dragons. How did this fight actually go? Okay, so we attack. Okay, actually, are both of them back? Yeah, both the squads are back. Okay, so we raided Hexlet. Hey, Bob, what's up, dude? I mean, some stitches, some rest, a couple buckets of water, and a splint or 3 can do it. Stole treasure. So from Hexlet, we got just a bunch of crap. From the other one, they shouldn't call it treasure. They should call it gear. Supplies. It's more like what it is. The Iron of Power snuck into Seduce Deep undetected and stole livestock. 5 cave dragons, 7 cave dragons we have. 7 cave dragons. All right, well, I'm sending these 2 squads to specifically steal livestock. Good luck. Meanwhile, Ranger Rick, like I said, is lying on the floor. I think I should do 2 things right now. I need to actually... Because there's only 75 people there, and it's a dark fortress, Valslan. It's basically empty. I've attacked it before with a single adventure and didn't see a single goblin and stole a bunch of dragons. Like, I've been there before in adventure mode, and trust me, they won't notice because there's nobody there. It's basically abandoned. Because they've been... That location, I think, has just been, like, invading dwarves and stealing their stuff. So they've been too busy invading to actually, like, stop and realize that their own stuff's getting taken. All right. I concur. Crundelicious. All right, so since I have a bunch of dragons now, and apparently I caught a muskox, that's a lot of lady dragons. I just war train all of these, right, and assign them to military? That's what we do? You know what? Maybe I war train all of the lady ones. Or no, okay, even better. I hunting train all the lady ones, and they get assigned to nobles in the fortress. And I war train all the boy ones, and they get assigned to dwarves. Why do I need a breeding pair? It takes them hundreds of years to get big enough to be even reasonably strong. Like, these ones are 200 years old already. So no, you don't. I'm not going to worry about a breeding pair. I'm just going to go steal more. And then the big dogs we turn into dinner. The lady dragons can make omelets for us. Anthis, thank you very much for the second month with Prime. Don't forget to check your Primes, chat. You might have a free sub that'll net you ad-free viewing. Is there any functional difference between a cave dragon and a not cave dragon? Not cave dragons breathe fire and are mega beasts. Cave dragons are livestock animals and don't breathe fire. And are not mega beasts. So yes, there's a lot of functional differences.
Here's my Prime also.
Thank you. Hoff, appreciate you. Right now, your cave dragons are producing eggs that hatch into full-grown dragons. Really? That seems like a bug. I wouldn't complain about that, but I'm also not super worried about breeding them. If they happen to breed, then cool, but I'm not prioritizing it, I suppose. Let's run along here, run along here. Run along there, go down to here. Okay, let's not get attacked while I'm doing this time, yeah? But seriously, Hoff, thanks for the 9th month. Welcome back. I mean, they're basically giant puppy dogs. Food 145. I love food. Thanks for the Prime sub, dude. Dragons of the Love Cave. Where did that come from? Oh, Love Cave Dragons. I see. Dragons of the Love Cave just sounds like a psychedelic, like, punk rock or pop rock group, probably from Australia. That or they just dress as, like, dragons and they just cover Love Shack in different styles. Although that would be Dragons of the Love Shack. Be a fun show. Yeah, a quickly canceled children's TV show. Okay, so... Pets and livestock. Gonna get all these trained. Where did all these stupid puppies come from? I have to eat them. What, psychedelic rock stuff? I mean, I don't know. Whenever bands have a really long, outlandish name, I assume they're from Australia. Thanks, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and psychedelic porn crumpets. There you go, Lucas. Yeah, Moose Moose, I think, has given away the most mugs. Peregrine Falcon Parchment Scroll. So I think we're going to just steal dragons until we stop getting dragons from there. And that'll also be a really good way for us to train. Stray Hunting Dragon. Okay, so the mayor, I think, is going to get a bunch of hunting dragons. What do you think, chat? Maybe Ranger Rick can have one? Pets and Livestock. Rick. Although he's still resting. Gets 2 of the Lady Dragons. The broker can have one. The manager can have one. The mayor can have one. And I'm not going to assign any of the hunting dragons until... Oh my god. I never realized this. Am I accurate here? Their chest changes color. Did they get a bandana? Is that what that is? Chat, if they're hunting trained, they get a green bandana. Did you notice this? It's like a bow tie. And then the war trained ones, they get like a metal bar around their neck. Huh. Styling and profiling. Yeah, pretty much. They're definitely styling. Okay, let's just continue melting this stuff down. And also down here, equip, update equipment. There we go. We now have enough quivers, which is good. And right here, yeah, they're just going to train in this location, shooting at this wall. Confirmed green collar slash bandana. Some migrants have arrived. All right, chat. I will be right back. I have to pee.
Cheese for everyone!
Hey, toilet claimed another victim? I mean, hey. I was only gone for like 90 seconds. If that even. Respects the development of a skill. Good memory and patient and incurious. Good kinesthetic sense. Value sacrifice. High kinesthetic sense. Ooh. Person thinks that people are those who waste time in self-examination are deluded fools and would never give up a chance for a good fist fight. Well, guess we have a new recruit. Bad timing on the ad there, right when I get back. I should always check that. One of these days, I'll actually be good at, like, keeping track of ads on Twitch, because I'm really bad at it. You're playing DF after almost 2 months. Why the break? Or, rather, what's the plan? Since it's been almost 2 months. So, I have a question, chat. This is the front door of my fortress, right? Right here. And obviously we're going to war. We obviously have dragons and things are going to start getting a little silly. So I have a question. What should I do with this entrance? What should we use as defense to defend this entrance? You know, you guys probably who've been watching me for a little bit have an idea of the types of things that we could do. Could just defend it with bolts and weapons. We could build some sort of contraption. We did lava in the last fort, but I'm not above doing lava again because that was specifically against cavern invaders. You know, it's like the boat murdered technique or whatever. Do you guys have any preference? Can we drop stuff on them? Sure, but that's very time consuming. I did that in the fortress we called Starfield, which was just a big ass tower, and I would just slowly build cover the entire roof with clay boulders basically, and then when the enemy would show up, just drop all the clay boulders on them. It was very tedious and slow to set up, but it was a pretty fun defensive structure. Especially when my own dwarves got caught in it, which was most of the time. You enjoy seeing ballista defenses? I won't comment on that one. I wish ballista defenses didn't suck. One might say a dragon force? Through the Valley of the Damned? You like doing the flood chamber? We could also do a combination of things too. Like I could set up a ballista somewhere here. Not gonna pretend that it's gonna be even remotely effective, but I could. Like it doesn't need to be one thing. Also, Dominoc, what are you doing? Oh, I love it when this happens. The game has decided that Dominoc is not in the squad anymore. Happens sometimes. Actually, it's possible it's because Dominoc was a religious figure. This is the Sacred Seal, so we've tossed a different dwarf into the squad. Actually, perhaps I should just rip them out. Yeah, just stay out of the squad. Just send nobody. Corpses of the last siege. Ugh. That is pretty style over substance. I mean, if I use shotguns, I usually just load them with lava. That's usually my method for that madness. But also, yeah, a real good way to make your dwarves super unhappy. Maybe skeletons. I know that, like, we've talked about firing statues out of shotguns before. Or just, like, boulders. Nothing wrong with firing boulders out of a shotgun. Speaking of, how's Rick doing? He's lost his ability to stand. He's got some pretty bad injuries. I think Ranger Rick needs to step down from the military for a little bit. I think you need to just focus on taking care of your own people, my guy. Yeah, he's got 2 splints in. Although one of them is really blinged out. It's encrusted with orthocase clase cabochons. I don't know if I want to do a corpse shotgun, just because 1, super ineffective, and 2, one thing I do like doing with shotguns is loading all of the enemies' weapons from the last siege in, so all the weapons we're not using. So if we're, like, say, using crossbows and, I don't know, hammers, then I would fight them with all of the spears that they brought with on the last siege kind of deal. That's pretty fun. Because I could very easily build shotguns in this setup. Like, extremely easily. Could also just go with a... You know what's another thing that You know what's something I haven't done in a very long time? Just make a fucking spike pit and put it on... and just attach it to a minecart. And just say go. That's something I haven't done in forever. There is a heavy aquifer on this map. So I could connect the heavy aquifer to some power and do that. And I could also just pave this thing. So it would look really stylish while I was at it. Simple but effective? Well, I mean, it's less simple the second you're like, and also it's going to be powered by minecarts. But yes. And then, like, couple that up with... you know, just having Mark's Dwarf shooting at them. That's pretty dramatic. I do really wish that ballistas weren't terrible, though. I want to say that, like, the Siege update might be the most requested update next to Myths and Magic. Simple but effective. The other thing about, like, spike pits is there's a lot of potential for your own dwarves getting really hurt. For those of you who enjoy that kind of fun. Okay, so we're going to go all the way down to here. Toss that in there. Toss that in there. Okay, now that's a little different. If you've got a necromancer in the fort and you're using corpse shotguns, that's a bit of a different thing. Also, corpse shotgun just sounds like a grindcore band. Body shoddy. I'm gonna fortify these walls. That's the actual plan. These are gonna be battlements. Let the bolts hit the floor or whatever. Yeah, sure. Okay. So I could also allow them to run back past this. That could be pretty cool. Maybe we cut through here, build a bridge across here, and then let them go up to this side and shoot from right here as well. The squads have returned once again. What do you think, chat? More dragons? Round of beers for more dragons. Let the baddies hit the floor. That rhymes with bodies or works in a sentence. We stole livestock. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. 9 cave dragons and 1 cave dragon. Oops, all cave dragons. Also, because somebody asked about this earlier, I am pretty sure that it hurts your ability to stealth as a squad if you have animals. I'm pretty sure it does. So for dragons, what do we have now? Dragon. Oh. Dragon. Nice. Okay, so all the lady dragons become hunting dragons, all the boy dragons become murder dragons, and that means I only have 1, I guess. Yeah, there's only 1 war dragon in here. The rest are all lady dragons. Which is kind of a shame, actually. But, you know. Thousands of years, yeah. Pretty much every dragon's gonna end up with a pet dwarf. I mean, every dwarf's gonna end up with a pet dragon. At this rate, yeah. Oops, all dragons indeed. Here comes the next round of dwarfs. So, if we're doing spikes, let's do iron spike. And then this will be, let's just do 400 menacing iron spikes. Rick is up and eating. And his dragon's just following him around. Fob Moisten worked. His personal bodyguard in Durgan. Poor guy. Trouble breathing. He almost died. Like, trouble breathing means he got, like, injuries from in his lungs, which is bad. Had to go to those doctors and hospital, get home at 11 a.m. And you can de-stress watching the same stream. I mean, I have been streaming for 9 hours and 15 minutes, yeah. His hair is wavy, apparently. But welcome back, Chef of Death. Is there a reason for this? Old habits? Nah, the answer is no, not really. I don't really have a reason for that. And thanks for the $1, Jeff. Cheers. Neezer's picking up equipment. Still happy. Empathy after remembering suffering a major injury and mulling over it changed her personal tendencies. She's truly fulfilled by assisting those in need. Huh. I don't know why there's a cage at the edge of the map, but there is. Can't brew drinks because we need an empty food container. I have a lot of empty earthenware pots. Do they need to be glazed to be used? I didn't think they did. I mean, maybe they do, but that's news to me if that's the case. Has it always needed to be glazed? Because glazes is pearl ash. What other glazes are there? Are there any non-ash-based glazes? Stoneware doesn't. Okay. Can you tell I do clay stuff all the time in this game? Certainly don't. Glaze. Yeah, you can absolutely cause booze to explode. But you need fire to do that, and lava doesn't do that. Ash glaze and tin glaze. Yeah, I don't have tin. So ash glaze is what? %1 of a bar of ash. Okay. So, do I even have any wood right now? Yeah, okay. Well, I will do this. Queue up like 20 ash. And just make a wood burner shop somewhere. And then let's just jump down here. There's one tree I can chop down. That is not what I wanted to do. This is the tool I wanted. Could also break out into here and go get more stuff, but I'm kind of don't feel like dealing with the caverns. We've been invaded by them several times, actually. I mean, I once had a elven faction called the Joys of Squirting, sorry. So, you know, like I'm sure there's weirder. If you've seen weird in Dwarf Fortress, there's been weirder. I mean, it's pusses, not what you think it is, but pusses is gross. Sounds like a dark elf faction. You know, the whole concept of non-dark elves and dark elves I've always found really silly. Just as a stereotype for fantasy, or like a trope, rather. I've always found it to be a bizarre trope. Those are my cave dragons. They're friendly, don't worry. Like this one. It was a stray hunting cave dragon. You can tell she's a hunting cave dragon because of her little green bandana. There we go, making all these spikes. Snail over here just making masterwork spikes. Most fantasy tropes are bizarre. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Weaponsmith has been taken by a Fey mood and has immediately claimed a weaponsmith's shop and then ran straight down. What, Dark Elves goes back to Norse mythology? I guess that makes sense why it's strange then. Norse mythology is pretty strange. Dwelling upon seeing a goblin's dead body, reoccurring over this memory, allowed her to rethink her intellectual values. She's often nervous after seeing a goblin's dead body. You know, I don't blame her. I would be too. Hauling magnetite, what have you claimed so far? Fungi wood logs, dog leather, and white opals. It's now working furiously. Magnetite, dog leather, and fungi wood. That's intriguing. As seen in the documentary. I love, like, the human speech pattern of, like, referring to very much an act of fiction as a documentary. It's like, of course we've invented time travel. Haven't you seen Back to the Future? Sheesh. You people disgust me. Okay, so for dragons, we still have a few more that need to be trained. The stray ones. Ranger Rick can get a second one. Does it not say how many they have as pets now? Ilmirin, you can have one. Everyone's getting a pet dragon. Devilish Potato gets a pet dragon. Anybody else with a dwarf want a pet dragon? No Banner Flags gets a pet dragon.
Woo!
Grandpa gets a pet dragon. Wait, was that train dragon? I think that might have actually been train. Nope, you got one. That's fine. Wait a second. Okay, I thought I discovered a life hack. Amethyst gets a pet dragon. You know, I don't think I've ever seen an infant cave dragon. Dominok gets a pet dragon. And Elfie Bean gets a pet dragon. So what we can do is I can assign a bunch of the war dragons to one squad and then have two separate squads. One of them being a, like, invasion squad and then the other one being... One of them being an invasion squad and the other one being a, like... How do I word this? Defense squad? This dwarf wants martial training and wants to fight. Okay, well, dream of mastering a skill is put off by family. Mass morass. I think you might be about to take on your own squad. Okay, so I have two options here that I see. This dwarf, Mass Morass, could either become the captain of the guard and train in the captain of the guard's cop squad, which could be fun. Or they could just be a normal extra squad. What do you think, chat? Nothing wrong with exceptionally minced cave dragon eggs? What do you think, chat? The march starts again. Devilish Potato, you have a pet dragon. How do you feel about this? Very important question. Chat room, I'm asking for some feedback. Do I make a captain of the guard? Or do I make an additional military squad for invasions? Because the captain of the guard squad ain't gonna leave. What do you think, chat? Captain of the guard. Okay. Just give them generic metal armor. I'm not going to worry so much about them wearing shoes. And he's been our bookkeeper for a bit. But we'll have to remove him from bookkeeping. And let's put Vukar the Weaver into that job. And I think I mean, this ain't the last squad we're gonna make, don't you worry. This is a war fort, after all. Let's do this. All the way along. So I think the cop squad gets to go, I'm thinking like right here, almost like battlements. Actually, let's do it a little further back. God, it is too hot in here, chat room. Squads haven't returned yet. We'll get there. War fort, a wharf. Uh-huh. Are you guys okay over there? Wow. How strong is a lead warhammer? Because that is actually a question. Give it to the new captain. I mean, commit crime, lose face. Wow. Well, I could either give it to the captain, or I could give it to Neezer. I think Neezer's earned it. But this particular Warhammer is made by Olin. She offers it to the Trampled Machine. It's a lead Warhammer named Limul Kubor. This is a lead warhammer. All craft store ship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of fungi wood, and this object menaces with spikes of lead and morganite. On the item is an image of macadamia trees and dog leather. On the item is an image of a bayberry tree in white opal. It's better than a silver hammer, but short of gold or platinum. Okay. Just pause that. In other words, massive. Yes. I think I'm going to give it to Neezer, because I think that Neezer's earned it. Or am I able to make an adventure that literally goes all over the world collecting every single book? Of course you could. Are you asking if I'm going to do that or if that's possible? I guess is the question I have. Because of course you can. That would be extremely, it's depending on the size of the world, that would take an extremely long time. But in theory, yes, you could. Well, lead doesn't affect anything poisoning-wise in Dwarf Fortress. Like, lead poisoning isn't a thing that's processed, so I disagree on that. If, like, drinking out of lead goblets the entire fort is fine with no ill side effects, then a lead warhammer should not get poison damage. Have you seen how some dwarves act? Lead has a side effect? I mean, that's factually incorrect on how the game works, but okay. I think you just need to be a better fortress overseer, truly. Personally, I as somebody who has had to deal with some pretty deadly poisons in the past in Dwarf Fortress, I think the less poisons this game has, the better. Like, just go watch Sunbirths. Just go watch, like, the horrors that was fucking Sunbirths. Like, just go watch the VODs for that fortress. It is... Yikes. Don't lead you down? I would never lead you astray. You'd have to have proven that I led you astray after the... I don't even know where I'm going with this. Trying to decide what I want to do tomorrow. There's part of me that just wants to stream Norland, but I'm having fun with this fort. It's a problem, chat. I have too much fun with this game, so it's really difficult to stream not this game. Even if there's other games I actually want to stream. Or just take the day off. I don't know, I'm pooped. But then it would just be a really short week. Yeah, that fort was tough. It was something. I dislike using the word addictive when describing video games, but yeah, it's certainly a game that's fun to play that you want to play a lot when you like it. I don't know what I'm doing with this. Thinking maybe a prison setup there, but... God, no. Why would I like Pokemon? I like games for grown-ups. Please. That's a children's toy. If I wanted to play with children's toys, I would just go stream Nintendo stuff all day. You know, true story, I've seen about 10 seconds of one Digimon episode once, and that is the extent of the entirety of my knowledge of Digimon. Basically, nothing. If I have to pay for a Nintendo console, I'm already out. Sorry, Salva. And I'm pretty sure every single game that is a Pokemon property runs exclusively on their crap ancient history consoles that don't even run well for their games. So fuck giving Nintendo money and screw like having to play games that run awfully on systems that they're exclusive to. I'm sure there's great ways to play Pokemon games, but I would rather do literally anything else. Okay, Squads is back. You right here are going to get a custom Warhammer. New weapon. Specific weapon, that. And I'm going to call this Cap Bloody Tusk leader. Confirm. And let's see how that fight went. I guess I could also make it their symbol. The Digimon virtual reality pet. Does it run on Steam VR? If not, then it's not a virtual reality pet. God damn it. Bad branding. Although they did originally market Doom as a virtual reality adventure, so. Nintendo is horrid. I mean, they're not the worst. They make great games. It's just not the kinds of games I'm interested in, really. 5 cave dragons and 2 cave dragons. Okay. So still only 2. Maybe I should start breaking my rule. I have a question. Are you just trying to figure out my taste in games, or are you trying to make stream game recommendations? Yeah, I enjoyed Risk of Rain 2 until they ruined it by finishing its early access period. I did like it, yeah. It was pretty good, but I prefer the original, and people don't like watching the original as much, so I kind of stopped streaming it at a point. And also, they added a lot of that stuff to the latter half of that game that, in my opinion, really kind of ruined it, at least for me. Yeah, really kind of ruined it. I think I'm going to assign a bunch of all of the war dragons I have, who do not yet have owners, to Neezer. And they are going to actually start invading stuff. Not the place that we are stealing stuff from, because we're going to keep stealing stuff from there. But Neezer and Squad is going to go to here and go to the Dark Goblin Pits of Hexslit. Oh, that, or we could just attack Portal Den. Let's just try and raise something. So let's go here and try and raise this location, which is Release Hexes, another place I've been to in adventure mode. Well, I'm sorry, it's never going to work. See, the reality is this, Lucas Pat. I am very picky about the games I like. And I already know what I don't like because I've played enough video games. And so trying to suggest games for me to play is very much a lost cause. So I'd recommend you just don't even try, because I just find it mildly annoying. Like, I've got a very long backlog of games I already would like to play. And I already have enough time or trouble pulling myself away from this game to play other games that I would like to play. So just recommending games is a waste of oxygen, pretty much. Go play your nonsense Pokemon bullshit, and I'll play the games I like. We can both enjoy our own enjoyments separately, and it'll be okay. Currently, we're protecting the elephants with a large number of dragons, apparently. What, just surround the elephants with dragons and hope they don't eat them? Yeah, that's my defense plan. All right, so I think we've built up this fortress pretty convincingly. I mean, I've been live for almost 10 hours now. My ears are still sweating, and my face is melting. It's funny that like people still say that it's crazy how fast saves are now because they used to be so much worse. Just like everything in Dwarf Fortress used to be so much worse. It's all so much better now. But I think it's time for us to wind down for the day, chat. I mean, we've expanded basically the entire fortress except for the bedrooms. The bedrooms still suck, but there is fortunately now a really nice dormitory for people who have to sleep in the bedrooms. We also have a library with a big dining hall attached, a big tavern, and a big barracks next to the tavern, and we're working on an area for the cops to train. This is the front door, which is going to get filled up with spikes at some point, and I screwed that up. I can fix that. We have an area for Mark's dwarves to shoot now, which is good, and I'll deconstruct that. And yeah, I don't know. I want to play more Norland, but I also just want to keep playing this fort. So it's kind of a toss-up as to what I do tomorrow. It might end up being Norland. It might end up being more of this. What do you guys want, chat? Sound off. Tell me. But that being said, YouTube chat, I'm shutting you down now. Twitch chat, you can say goodnight, YouTube, if you want. And I will be back tomorrow with something. Tomorrow. And then we'll be back on Tuesday after that. So go recommend you watch that YouTube video that go recommend that YouTube video that I uploaded the other day to your friends, if you have any. And glue their eyes open and make them watch it, like in the Clockwork Orange. See you later, YouTube.
Nuclear vessels.
My face hurts. I don't know why. All right. So the game is done saving. I'm going to put a marker down here. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to click this. And I'm going to click this. Hey, chat, don't run off. We're going to raid somebody playing Dwarf Fort, hey?